And dink, dink, dink. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Jen and Julian. I got some heavyweights with me. I have not streamed in a week. Con of Thrones 2018 Dallas was fucking amazing. We're already going to get demonetized, so I might as well start this party off by cursing and saying some profanity. But I am joined here by Quinn from Ideas of Ice and Fire and by David from Lucifer means Lightbringer. Why don't you guys introduce yourself and tell everyone where they can find you at, and then let's start this post-con discussion.
What's up? Ideas of Ice and Fire. Check me out on YouTube, and yeah, let's talk about the con. It's exciting.
Hey, Sir Hunts. So glad to be on your channel. Of course, I've been on Quinn's channel a bunch of times, and I'll have him on my channel soon. But dude, Sir Hunts, I'm stoked making my Sir Hunts debut. It was nice to wrap you in a big fat bear hug at the con, my brother, and just sort of drink in your enthusiasm and raw energy. If you guys don't know, Sir Hunts is the life of the party. You might guess that from checking out his streams, but in person, it is just what you think
at the con.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He was turned up.
So.
Yes, I was. I'm not gonna lie.
I guess I should say the official stuff. So I'm from the Mythical Astronomy of Ice and Fire podcast, and you can find that at lucifermeanslightbringer.com. My YouTube, pardon me, guys. Sorry, it's a little early here on the West Coast. Still clearing out the cobwebs. That's also why I'm wearing my sunglasses here. It's not because I'm too cool for school. It's because I was up late YouTube editing and I got some bags under my eyes. So you'll just have to forgive me. But yeah, so YouTube channel is lucifermeanslightbringer.com. And I talk about mythical astronomy, symbolism, mythology, stuff like that.
Nice, nice. So yeah, I was actually on a panel with both of you guys. I think we had two because we had the YouTube meet and greet, and then I was on a panel with each of you guys individually. Both of those were a lot of fun. Out of I hate to sound like I don't even know. I guess I wouldn't sound anyway. Okay, so my first con was the one last year in Nashville. What do you guys? I don't know if you guys have ever been to a convention before, but what were your thoughts as your first Con of Thrones? Did you just initial thoughts?
I was very nervous. This is my first convention ever. Didn't know what to expect. I was nervous about being on the panels. I was like, yeah, but I had some friends with me, so it made it better. Wasn't by myself.
Yeah, I was great. It's probably one of the most fun weekends I've had ever, and I think a lot of people felt that way that came. And we'll talk about the panels and all that stuff, but the number one thing is just connecting with people, turning people from square icons on the internet machine into flesh and blood people that you can slap a big hug with and smoke down with and catch a drink with and share good times. That's definitely far and away, I think, the highlight for everyone. Is it really feels more like a family now instead of just a fandom. And I just can't wait to see everybody next time at the next con. Definitely going to try to get to Ice and Fire Con too and spread some love with those folks. So just I think we're all just sort of brimming with that feeling from the weekend right now.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. I mean, this was my second convention ever. And I honestly was still nervous. And we had just had the first one less than a year ago. It still hasn't even been a year since the first one. So it's cool that we get to do this. I think the way that it's scheduled, it's the last one was at the very end of June, and this one was a few months before that. But I was still nervous. I didn't know what to expect. And like Quinn said, you brought friends with you, so that's always good. I didn't do that last year or this year, so I was like, fuck, man. I made friends last year, but it's still nervous. It's nice to I had never been to Dallas. I had never been really, other than when I was a child and I lived in Detroit, I'd never been that far Midwest. So I live in the South now, but it's just totally different atmosphere. So I myself was nervous about traveling. I don't mind planes, but I hate the takeoff, that roller coaster feeling. And I feel like when I flew there, it was on Spirit, and I flew out of Myrtle Beach. It was on Spirit Airlines, and that's a smaller airline. I feel like the airplane itself, the inside looked nice, but I was like, man, there's got to be a reason why these tickets were so cheap. So the whole first hour of my experience of the con of leaving a place where I'm familiar with and then going there, it was just a little bit nerve-wracking. But once I got there, my last year, my fears were quickly hushed away, and it was nice.
So Hans, you never been to Cali, man? Are you serious?
No, I've never been. I
gave you a full California dude right there, man. You gotta come out to the Bay and hang. Both you guys, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Come out this way, please. It's so much fun.
Well, I drove to the con. I drove all the way from Atlanta, 17 hours, and it was not fun. Like that's all I
That
have to
is a
say.
bit. That's like at the very edge of what a road trip can be manageable.
Yeah. And I was alone when I drove because my friends already live in Texas. So it's like it's not good.
Wow, you must have gotten caught up on all the mythical astronomy podcasts on the way, huh?
Actually, I wasn't listening to anything for most of it. I was just like, I just need to get there.
I feel you. I'm gonna be honest, man. Out of the most like impactful that I saw, the most people talking about like just fans and everything, you guys were like top two, and it was crazy because I feel like a lot of the people that went, not really, because you guys make good content. I don't mean to say it's crazy, like, oh, it's out of the blue, people love your shit. No, I meant to say like it's out of the blue because of most of the people that went last year went this year, and I feel like when I went last year, I had like 5,000 subs. There were a few people that knew who I was, but mostly it was like word of mouth. Once I did a few panels there, the people saw me there and they were like, oh shit, this guy's funny, whatever. You know what I mean? And you guys, out of just like when you have people in the crowd talking, or when we had the meet and greet and people are saying who inspired them and who they're influenced by, you guys were two of the most mentions. So I was like, I need to get y'all on my fucking channel. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. How does that feel? Is it surreal? Like, I don't mean to be like interviewing you guys, but I'm still kind of nervous. Even though I met you in person, I'm nervous about, just because of the live stream. So I don't mean to be interviewing you, but I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I think go ahead, Quinn.
I was just gonna say, definitely surreal. I was not expecting it at all. So the first time, okay, I guess after my first panel, I just kind of left real quick and went back up to the room because I wasn't expecting people to want to talk to me. And when I went back down, I guess I'm walking out of the door and this girl follows me and she's like, hey, can I get your autograph and a picture? And I'm like, what? Me? And it was really shocking because it happened so many times after that. But yeah, it was really flattering to like see all the people walk up to me and say, oh, I've been watching you for years and I like your channel so much. And like I had this one girl come up to me and just say, I love how you just tell it like it is. And you don't if you don't like something, you say it. And I just was really flattered because I get a lot of hate on the internet or like dissing Game of Thrones or whatever when I don't like something. So it's really neat to see people in person actually come up to me and they'd be like, and like my stuff so much. It's really great. It's a very great feeling, actually. It's wonderful. Definitely want to go back next year.
Sorry, guys. I got my headphones trying to strangle me here. Trying to like do the thread them through the t-shirt thing. And it's felt like I was caught up in the webs of Cthulhu's arms for a second there. Okay, so yeah, totally. It's like coming out of my shirt here. So yeah, so I feel like everybody in this community likes to have fun, and everybody in this community is a big nerd. So as a content creator, you have a range of choices as far as how you present your information. And those of us who choose to roll into the like really more cerebral, nerdy, in deep kind of stuff, which is I think what Quinn and I are both drawn to, you expect a smaller audience. You don't expect it to go viral. You don't expect it to reach as many people. It's just the nature of the game. And you kind of know that when you choose to go that route. And for me, I'm like, yeah, let's start a 2-hour mythology and symbolism podcast and see how that goes. I expected like 10 listeners. So anytime people come up to you and they're as excited as about you as you are, it just tickles you pink. I mean, I'm sure Quinn feels the same way. It fills you with wonder and love and gratitude. It makes you fired up to make more and just go deeper. So, I mean, you guys are just enabling us, basically. It's fucking awesome.
What I loved was all the nerds. I've never been around so many nerds at once. I can just say some weird shit and they totally get it. And it's just like, yes. Like it's great. It's great being around people that are interested in the same things. Like, yeah, you can talk about Daenerys like she's a real person. You can like, it's just really great. Really great to like be around people that have the same interests. You can talk to them about A Song of Ice and Fire and they don't get bored. Their eyes don't glaze over like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, dude, that's the best part. Like, no matter, and it's not just Game of Thrones too. It's all types of fandom.
Anything.
Like, yeah, that was what was surreal because everybody that I still talk with from high school, or that I'm just friends with, people I used to work with, whatever. None of them like the show as much as any one of these people that comes to these cons. Like, I have one friend, but it's not like, I don't know. I can't have, like, we can't theorize with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more 90% of the time I'm explaining who this person is. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's like I said, Quinn and I are known for doing a certain really nerdy deep dive on stuff. And the thing is that like I said, we're all nerds. We all like doing deep dive stuff. So I find that sometimes let's say, for example, there's a lot of people that do more show-based stuff than book stuff, or they have a lot of short videos, because short videos are the best. Tony Teflon told me straight up, he's like, dude, 10-minute videos, you want to get a lot of views, they'll go viral, because that's a lot of times that's how much time people have to intake things. And not everybody has freaking 2 hours to listen to your dissertation on, Septon Marybald's, speech or whatever. And so I feel like what I've found in the YouTube community is that, you think somebody is, oh, well, they cover the show, they do short videos, so maybe they're not that deep. And then you talk to them and they're fully willing to go 2 hours on Ragnarok, just like you are. And you realize, oh yeah, everybody here is smart. Everybody likes to go deep, but you just have to choose different ways to present information. Everybody finds their niche. Certain people are more entertaining and more funny. Other people, have more deeper thoughts that take longer to get out. And it's just fun. I consistently find myself surprised and impressed by people. And so
it was fun to really just meet everyone and see how nice everyone was. It was just absolutely, because like all the other YouTubers, it was a lot of fun to meet Gemma from Secrets of the Citadel. Azora Hype, he was great. They threw an after party in the room on Saturday. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Which I'm trying to get Gemma. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Quinn, but I'm trying to get Gemma here. I sent the email to the.
No, she's here.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's in the chat.
No. I mean, like on the stream. In the hangouts. Yeah, I was trying to. I sent her the invite like twice. It's not for whatever reason. I guess you can't see it.
Me and Gemma bonded over our hate for season 7.
Oh, guys, it was magic to see. It was like Quinn and I walked up together to the party, and we walked in, and Gemma's like, "Hey, we've just been trashing season 7 for like an hour." And I was like, "Have you met my friend Quinn?" And they had already been introduced. So then they sat down, and it was like another hour of season 7 destruction, and it was magic to watch.
Yeah, it was great to just trash it with her. Like, this doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense. No filter.
Like, great. Look, I don't know if you guys saw my season 7 videos. I know all the people watching right now probably have, but I'm overly excited. So what I tried to focus on my channel was just being happy that we get to see such amazing television, and that gets passed off as just like someone who doesn't critique the show and whatever. I see it in my comment section, and I've actually had another YouTuber, fucking one of the biggest ones who's been doing it for the longest, tweet at me on fucking Twitter and like a DM and was like basically called me out. Like, he's like, your channel's parody, right? I'm like, nah, I take my shit serious, but I'm
who was it?
Lighthearted at the same.
I know exactly who it is.
I was about to say, yeah, I don't want to call anybody out, but I
know who it is.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I do joke a lot, but either way, after having watched it and going back and just not being as much of a fanboy, there are obviously a lot of flaws with it. When I've seen, seasons 1 through 6 fucking 10 times over, and then I watch season 7 for the second time, I'm going to have some flaws. And I did a video where I was going to do like a stream of videos saying how I would have done season 7. So yeah, I wish I could have caught that. Was that at a panel that you're talking about that you guys were bonding over that?
No, it was actually at the after party. Like on Saturday, Gemma and Azora Hype had an after party.
It was a panel though. We got a drunk after party trash season 7 panel going right in the living room. And yeah, really a big thanks to Gemma and Kyle. They and their patrons, I guess. They threw down for the King Suite, and we had a ripping party up there, and we were just talking and bonding and smoking and drinking and flipping the bird and all that stuff. It was great.
Okay, so Gemma's saying that you have for David.
Yeah, I just added her to the Hangout.
Okay.
So I think she should be able to jump in now.
You know what? I could post this in the chat. No random person, please click on this link unless you're Gemma.
Well, hold on a second. Just before you do that, let's give her a chance. I think she can jump in now.
I was about to say, because I was emailing it too. It should have worked. I don't know why it didn't. But that would be funny if like 100 people clicked on it. And
I feel like it would happen. I feel like it would definitely happen.
Fire there.
Random people in the fucking channel.
Okay, so here's another question for you guys. What was your favorite fan encounter? Like of like, you know, people that attending the con that were like, oh my God, it's Quinn, or oh my God, it's David. What was your favorite one? You don't have to call out names in specific.
Well, so I had two. I talk a lot about my religious upbringing, and I've sort of was raised Christian and then sort of became very anti-religious and then sort of swung back to the middle to where now I feel like I can appreciate the wisdom in all religions, and I come at it from a much more of a comparative mythology point of view. I feel like a lot of people have followed a similar path, in our sort of generation. Everybody's got some amount of religious upbringing. Most people had some degree of bad experience, or maybe it just doesn't sort of speak to them. They don't know what to do with it, but they actually did learn a lot. And, I got into that topic on a couple of my podcasts and a couple of my panels. And when people come up to me and tell me like something like, oh, that really affects me or speaks to me, and I grew up that way too, that's like probably the most moving things that happen. And I had one person in particular that came up and they were like a little bit of tears flowing, talking about our religious upbringing and how it's affected us. And that was really, really special. And then there was also like, I don't know, maybe like a 12, 13-year-old girl with pink dyed hair. She was there with her dad, and she was she was so excited about like just the whole con and mythology and symbolism in general. And she's all into the Lucifer TV show. And, her dad says, she can dye her hair any color she wants as long as her grades are up. And it was just the cutest friggin' thing in the world to see young people like that all fired up about symbolism and stuff. So that was great.
I think I have a couple favorites too. Okay, so there was one where I was sitting on the panel, and see, that's the thing. I don't show my face on the Ideas of Ice and Fire channel, so a lot of people don't know what I look like. And so I'm like on the panel, and then like I guess I say I'm Ideas of Ice and Fire, and this girl in the front row, her mouth just opens wide, and then and she's just staring at me. And then after the panel is over, she comes to me and she says, "Oh my God, I had no idea what you looked like." And she's like, "I love your channel so much." She just goes on and on about how she's been watching me, and she loves the channel so much. She's like, "I've been watching you for years," and that was really great. And then the other one was actually the first time that someone walked up to me, and I was literally walking out the door, and this girl runs up behind me, and I guess she says something. I go, "She can't be talking to me, right?" And she's like, "Oh my God, can I please have your autograph? Can I get a picture?" I felt like a celebrity. I was like, "Yeah, sure." So like the first time was like, because it was so shocking that I was like, yeah, it was great. It was great.
Hell yeah. I would say mine was like just meeting people that I talked to, on Patreon, and like having them come up to you and be like, "Hey, that's awesome." And then of course I got stopped a few times as well to take pictures. I feel like my immediate thing should be like, "What's your username?" So I know, to go back and maybe check to see how the picture looks. Because I know I was fucking drunk a lot of the times during those fan interactions. And I saw one, and I was like, "Oh my God, I look like a fucking monster." Like, oh, it's crazy.
Hey, she's here.
Yeah, she's
Gemma.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey.
What's up?
Completely crashing your chat. Sorry.
Oh, good. Well, I'm trying to get as many of us in here as possible. I just know it was fun. Are you still traveling? Or are you back home or?
No, I'm back now. 22 hours it took me to get home.
Wow.
Guys, she just posted a picture on Twitter. She looks as fresh as a daisy. I was like, how did you do that?
I'm still kind of like buzzing, but I'm also absolutely shattered. I'm actually sat in my bedroom right now. So I'm not going on camera because I don't really have the correct backdrop at this present moment in time. So you'll just have to look on Twitter at my photograph if you want to see me.
Gemma, I threw on the party glasses to cover my dark circles and just went for it, but that's okay. We'll let you off the hook.
Awesome.
Why don't you give a couple of your highlights, your favorite moment, meeting somebody, you've heard what, the stuff we just went through.
Yeah. I mean, we had all the panels and we interviewed a lot of the stars and stuff. And that was what I was most looking forward to as I was going. But actually, they were great, don't get me wrong. I love the panels and meeting the celebs, you get all starstruck and what have you. But the best bit was just kind of walking from one end of the convention to the other, and just all the people that you'd meet along the way. You know, people like you guys that you recognize, but then other people that would come up to you that recognized you. You know, people. So there was a couple of people literally fangirling over me, which was crazy. And everyone was just so friendly. And like you were saying, we're all just such nerds. And that was a given. So we just kind of launched into these amazing conversations like the one you were talking about earlier between myself and Quinn.
Yeah.
I think we were a good 4 hours on that, ripping season 7 to shreds. There may have been some alcohol involved.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I think I might have even tried to change the topic a couple times, and then like went out to smoke, came back, and was like, "Yep, season 7."
You did. You came back about an hour later and was like, "You're still doing this, right?"
Wait. Hang on. So you had
Let's talk about happy things.
You had an issue with Arya in season 7?
Oh,
you had
God. I made 2 videos titled Arya Sucks. Yeah.
I had a problem with the entirety of the Winterfell plot. And I mentioned that during season. That was one of the things that I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why are they doing this? Like,
Winterfell was the worst plot. I mean, like, from Arya like beating Brienne in the battle to like Arya antagonizing her sister for no reason, it was just really weak.
Well, I feel like a lot of it too was that Jon wasn't there, and when they are focused mainly on Jon, he's in Winterfell. So even if there are other subplots going on, you're like, oh well, Jon's always doing good shit because we know the writers enjoy him, so they're gonna put him in good scenes.
I feel like they didn't know what to do. It was manufactured drama, you know.
Yeah, they were like, we gotta do something. Let's put them up at each other's necks, and I think they were even setting up for that going into season 7 because they're Sophie and Maisie are they're doing interviews, and they're like, yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Arya might be headed home, so they were kind of setting that up, or they were setting it up as conflict between Jon and Sansa, and it ended up being Arya and Sansa. It was silly. But
I have another favorite meeting a fan moment that I forgot about that I just thought about. So there was a guy that was cosplaying as a Maester, and I walk up to him and I say, "Can I get a picture?" And he says, "Are you Ideas of Ice and Fire?" And I go, "Yes." He's like, "I recognized your voice," and that wasn't the first time. So many people recognized me by my voice, which was amazing.
Yeah, it's very distinctive.
So that was cool.
Hell yeah. Gemma, what was your just overall favorite moment? Had you been to America before, or had you been to Texas before you came here?
Welcome to America.
I've been to Vegas before, so that was crazy, as you can imagine. First time in Texas, Dallas. What was the other question? Standout moment.
Yeah.
Oh, there was just so many, you know. I think it was the connections, it was the people. Like when I saw LML for the first time, literally never met this guy ever in real life, and we just ran up to each other and just hugged it out, you know. And it was like, I feel like I knew all of these people, so we just sort of slotted in so comfortably, and it was just so chill. I could not pin it down to one particular moment. I really enjoyed like just hanging out with some of the Patreons and subscribers, having a drink, sort of showing them, look, hey, I'm a real person, you know, and yeah, I'm also hammered at this moment, you know, and that was cool. We didn't sleep much, did we?
I was buzzing on pure adrenaline. I could only eat like half of any given meal. Didn't sleep much, and yeah, I usually don't do well with sleep deprivation, but it didn't really matter. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. I think I got about 2 hours a night.
Oh wow. I think I got more sleep than you guys did. I need my sleep. I can't function without it.
I got some decent sleep. The first night, not really, because being in a strange place, and then like I'm not a usual drinker, despite what you may have seen. I'm not saying I've never been a drinker, because I definitely have, and that's why I laid off of it. But I don't know, something about being, it's kind of like a vacation, but you know, we're working at the same time because we're constantly networking, we constantly have panels, something to go to, interview, whatever. So it's like that, but it's the South, and Dallas has like an open container kind of thing, like you can walk around the hotel with a drink. So that, you know, I was like, okay, let's do this. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know this. And then the last night, Saturday, I got lots of sleep because I didn't drink at all. So I was like, I don't want to be hungover traveling. Fuck that. So yeah, I got a lot of sleep that night. But
I got the most drunk on Saturday night.
I remember. But like right now, there's like people in the chat, and I know these guys. I met with them, I've partied with them, and that is just awesome to sort of have put faces to names or faces to avatars, even. You know.
Oh, yeah. And shout out to San Rixian on Twitter because she was really nice to me at the con. So yeah, she was really cool.
Quinn, can you type in the chat real quick so I can make you a mod? I didn't realize I hadn't done that before.
Okay. I actually didn't have the chat open. Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Use do the pop out chat. That makes it the easiest.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. So let's get into some of the panels. Let's talk about some of y'all's panels. What we'll start with you, Gemma. What was like your favorite panel to do?
My favorite panel was with the lovely LML, who is with us right now, and Joe the Magician. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty worried about that one because I thought this is going to be a pretty heavy panel. You know, there was two different kinds of panels. There was ones where we were just kind of chilling and just chatting and sharing our ideas, like the best duos one. We're just talking about which pairing of characters do we all love. But the one we did, why is George R. R. Martin so great? That was just so awesome. We had loads of notes and we could have done it for a lot longer, right? We didn't get to half of our points, but yeah, it was first time I'd ever met Joe the Magician, and it just all fell into place. I feel it did. Do you agree, LML?
Oh yeah, I dreamed up that panel. It was called "What Makes George R. R. Martin Great," specifically to help people understand why it takes George 5 years to write a book, and also because I know that a lot of our community are aspiring writers, and so I figured there'd be a lot of interest in sort of spotlighting some of the techniques that makes his writing great. And I picked you and Joe Magician, and I also wanted Aziz on that panel, but he got conflicted out. But those were the people that I picked because I know you guys have really cogent, sort of well-developed thoughts about the grits of his writing technique, and you guys are both, I consider, probably a little more educated than me as far as literature class and stuff like that. I actually haven't been to college, a little bit of a secret. I just read a lot. I was raised Christian, which is like being raised by wolves. Like I didn't even learn about evolution until I got out of high school. I'm serious.
Hang on, I gotta pause the conversation real quick. We just got a massive, probably one of the biggest super chats I've ever gotten from Helena von Leinstein. Said, "Refill your coffee, sweets." Hello from Britain. Thank you so much for that. Jesus, and it's in euros too, so that's like,
oh wow,
like three times the American dollar, 330.
All the way from Berlin.
So anyways, just to reel it back in, I picked two people that I consider to be, I don't want to use the word smarter, but, you know, are very well-educated people that would come and shine really hard. With Joe Magician and Gemma, they both came hard. They both brought it. And it was just awesome to think of a panel and then see it come to life and invite people on and then see them just absolutely go to town and tear it up. And then that was awesome. And the crowd also had tons to say about what their favorite techniques were. So we just spent an hour just highlighting all our favorite George stuff. And it was tons of fun. I agree. It was one of my highlights too, Gemma. So
yeah, the crowd was awesome. They were super intelligent as well, weren't they? They were really up on, they knew the techniques and the things we were talking about. And they had some really, really great points to make. And so we were bouncing off them as well. And yeah, it just all fell together. Yeah, it came around. And I just felt so appreciated, you know, and thank you for letting me come on that panel. I enjoyed all of the panels, but that was my favorite.
Well, you should mention that you do have a YouTube channel talking about writing techniques. And of course, you are a teacher, so it's no accident that I chose you, you know?
Sure, yeah. My major in literature, my degree in English literature certainly helped. But I must admit, we'd had a couple of drinks and you know, you put on the spot and then there's like really obvious terms that you just completely, they're gone. They're not in your head anymore. And I think I spent 7 years of my life teaching these techniques and I can't even remember what they're called right now. But no, it was great. It was great. Really, really lots of fun.
I think my favorite, I had two. I really enjoyed the nature mythology panel. The first one that I did, that one was a lot of fun. And then also the one that I was on that one with Crawford's daughter and LML. And then also Daenerys, the Dragon Ascendant with Sir Hunts. That was great. People got really mad when I said that, that I wanted.
I actually have that. I was about to say, real quick, I uploaded a small clip of that yesterday or the day before yesterday. And yeah, I'm going to upload the whole thing, but we can't. What I was told was that we were only allowed to upload 10 minutes of each panel from last year, and like
not the case.
No.
Really?
No. If you're allowed to put up whatever you recorded from a panel that you were on.
Yes.
They said that?
Yes, in an I have it in email.
All right, awesome. Because I was about to say that's what I thought last year, and I fucking uploaded an entire panel, and I got an email from Sierra, and she was like, "Yo, dude, what the fuck are you doing?" You know what I mean? We said 10 minutes. Yeah, no, for real. So I was like, "Oh shit." So I don't know.
Yeah, I put up one of my whole panels.
I got the same email. It said, as long as you are on that panel and everybody else on the panel says that's cool, you can upload the whole thing. But any others, you needed permission.
And just to plug my own shit there, Lucifer Means Lightbringer YouTube channel, I did upload my first panel video this morning, so it is there to see.
I'll have to check that out.
And now the Dragon Ascendant panel was very high on the list of panels that I was dying not to be able to see. I was conflicted and had to give a panel at the same time, but that is one of the ones I cannot wait to check out. So give us like a couple of minutes about what you guys talked about there.
So much fun. I did my whole spiel about Daenerys being a living myth, and I talked about some of my theories about her visions, her dreams coming from Quaithe, and it was just a lot of fun.
Oh,
Talked about her as a strong female character as opposed to like Brienne. Daenerys is a female character that maintains her femininity while remaining strong, unlike Arya and Brienne, a lot of other ones. It was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Talked about how she symbolizes the mother and how like I think that she could be martyred and become a god essentially, and it was just a lot of fun to just discuss all the different possibilities.
Sounds like your sweet spot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that we can upload the whole thing, because I was going to go through and just try to get clips. I thought that one where I zoomed in on your face, because I like having debate. You know what I mean? I think that's cool. And honestly, the fact that you were able to get the whole crowd to react like that, that was perfect. I was like, I have to upload this clip, because it I don't know. It was like the essence of that. I felt like it was a really good clip. Did you like that? Did you want me to upload the whole thing? Are you okay with it?
Oh yeah, I'm fine with you uploading the panel.
All right, cool. I was conflicted because I was going through, and the way my camera did it, because my memory card was filling up by that point in the weekend, it recorded it in sections. So I have to go through, instead of watching it as one giant one, I have to go through and just look at each clip. But what I think my favorite panel was probably the spinoff, because that was just like it got really fun, because we basically just like took questions and we had the audience vote at the end on which one, and a lot of their suggestions were funny for what they thought, or not spinoff, I guess successor show. But yeah, that was my favorite one. Did everyone already say their favorite panel?
Sorry if you could hear the dog.
JR in the chats just reminded me, it was the last panel of the entire con, actually, and it was the 12 steps, the monosmith that we did, Jon Snow's 12 steps, and the guy who was cosplaying Jon Snow, he actually rocked up while we were doing the panel and kind of crashed our panel, which was cool. So, but actually he really surprised me. He knows his stuff, which was quite a pleasant surprise. But so yeah, that was a lot of fun. J.R. Rowley's in the duos panel and the Heroes 12-step arc were my favorites. They were both my panels, just saying.
Helena was reminding me when I got to interview Sibel. Oh my God, that dude, you guys have no fucking idea. And I feel like I had been talking about it for a while. I was like, I applied for this press pass. I hope I get to interview someone. And then obviously the first person I request, like, because after you get approved, they're like, who are the top people that you want to interview if it fits into both your schedule and their schedule. And obviously I put her number one, and then Gendry. So the fact that I was doing that, I knew, and I only got approved for it a few days before I left, so I didn't have much time to really think about it. I knew what I wanted to ask her. I have like a million things I want to ask her. We all know, I don't know if everybody here knows about you know, not just from Game of Thrones, but all the other stuff she's done in the past. And then, you know, she's really, Helena was telling me she's really big over in Germany too. But yeah, that wasn't it. It was just the fact of meeting someone that you see on the big screen. That's fucking nuts, dude. Like and especially for so long. He was on it from season 1 to 4. Like that's nuts. I don't know. I was so nervous. Like nervous doesn't even begin to describe how it was nuts.
Hey, just real quick, I just dropped the link to Gemma's writing channel in the chat. And if you're not looking at the chat and you're just listening, it is called Two Wordy, TWO, like number 2 wordy. So check that out.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah, I haven't uploaded as much as I would like to on that other channel. Obviously, Secrets is my priority channel. It's called Two Wordy because there's 2 of us. It's myself and a very good friend of mine who is an author. She's published 6 books now. So she's got probably more to say than I do. But yeah, we sort of collab on that. We do podcasts and things. So yeah, appreciate you slinging the link in there, LML.
Slinging the link. I thought
making use of my moderator powers. Yes.
I'm actually about to, if I can do it while I'm on this Hangouts, I'm going to put your link. I can put it in the chat right now, but I was going to actually put it in the description. So it's there for all the people that watch afterwards as well.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then my whole thing is I like, and you guys can attest for this, is I like to pop up last minute and just be like, all right, let's do this. Like I literally asked these guys a few hours. Well, I talked to Quinn yesterday, but I literally asked them like moments before we were supposed to be here. So that was awesome. But
yeah, I'm in California, so it's like 8:30 my time, and I'm wiping the sleep out of my eyes. And here's hey, it's Sir Hunts. Like, hey, Sir Hunts, how's it going? Oh, I'm just waking up, man. It's like, hey, you want to go down a live pad? Okay, yes, I do. So just slap some water on my face, and here I am.
Oh, I just literally saw the notification pop up and I thought, I need to crash this because I still want to talk about this, you know. And now I'm at home and reality kind of sets in and mundane routine and what have you. I'm not quite ready for that yet. I'm still on a high.
It was really cool. I was standing outside with, I think, Tony Teflon, and Carrie Ingram, who plays Shireen Baratheon, just walked up randomly, and me and Tony both got pictures with her. And we had to pay for it, so that was sweet.
Hell yeah, dude! I grabbed a pic with her too. After seeing her go outside 3 separate times over the weekend, the last day I was like, "Fuck this! I'm going to ask her." And she goes, "Yeah, sure." I was like,
"She was super nice."
Yeah, dude. And what threw me off was because I walked up to her and I was like, "Okay, I know her name is Carrie, but I know I'm gonna fuck up and be like, hey, Shireen, can I take a picture with you?" But I don't know. Yeah, nah, she is really sweet. They all were, all of them.
They were all super accessible, weren't they? Like young Hodor was just wandering around. He added me on Twitter, which was wow. And then he came up to me to personally wish me a happy birthday, which was just like, are you kidding me right now? And he said that he'd seen on Twitter that we were heading down, so he'd come to see me to say happy birthday. And that just blew me away.
Awesome.
Holy shit. I missed a super chat. What the fuck? How did I do that? Oh my God. Thanks for telling me, chat, guys, people, chat. Not you guys. I'm saying the chat. Usually they're on that. But yeah, sorry about that. Thank you, Big Kev, my boy. The North remembers. Thank you for that, good sir. Sorry, continue on. I didn't mean to abruptly interrupt you guys like that. Sorry.
No, it was really cool that it was actually my birthday because people knew in advance that it was my birthday on the Saturday, and I actually came home with a suitcase full of birthday presents, which was insane.
Wow.
I personally sang happy birthday to Gemma no less than 2 panels.
We kept interrupting all the other panels that were in the other room because the whole room sang 5 panels I got happy birthday sang to me on, which was crazy. But all the other panels in the adjacent rooms had to stop their panels because we were too loud.
So Gemma, what's your sign? What's your sign?
I'm Gemma the Gemini.
I'm a Gemini too. My birthday is actually tomorrow. Turning
24.
Crazy.
Happy name day.
Personality.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
It was also Esme Bianca who plays Roz. It was her birthday the day before. It was Shireen's birthday. So yeah, it was like a Gemini invasion, that con.
Yeah.
Well, Quinn, don't ask us to sing to you on the live stream because we don't have other voices to drown out the bad singing. So it's
Happy birthday to me.
oh shit.
Dude, why didn't you get on? Why didn't you get on the stage at the what you call it during the?
Because I'm too shy. I can't.
Also, yeah, we did try to gently peer pressure him, but you know, we didn't want to get too far. Also, the karaoke situation needs a little bit of help. There was only 2 hours of window, and there was like at least 4 hours worth of karaoke enthusiasm. Not everybody even got to sing. Limited selection. So it's probably like the only complaint about the entire con was that the karaoke situation was not adequate for the level of enthusiasm that was there for it.
Britney Spears' performance was pretty good with Young Hodor.
Dude, I clipped that. I got a small clip of that up on the channel if you guys want to go check that out. We have Young Hodor, Shireen, and the original Marcella singing Hit Me Baby One More Time. Consensually.
Hey,
that was the best one.
Sean McFall in the chat is bringing up a great point that I want to stop and pounce on. So we mentioned Esme Bianco. She led a panel on sexual violence in Westeros that I have heard about from just so many people. It was apparently outstanding. Obviously, it's a topic that George raises and the show deals with, and not always perfectly. And we as a fandom, it's something that we need to talk about and respond to and deal with. Recently, I think people are starting to wake up that, for example, the W word, whore, is not something that we should be throwing around, even though it's like in the books, for example. And there's been an increasing level of awareness about sexual violence, sex workers, and all that sort of issues that like I said, it's in the books, it's in real life. There's something that we have to talk about. And this panel was apparently a great success. I was scheduled against it, so I didn't get to see it. It's another one of those ones I can't wait to see on video. But I just want to give credit to Con of Thrones for having that panel and for Esme and everyone that was on the panel for knocking it out. And I'm very encouraged that we're sort of grappling with this issue as a fandom.
Yeah, it was perfect to have her out of any character. Well, I guess there's a lot of characters, I guess, that could have led that panel, but it was a perfect choice to have her do that because her death was pretty traumatic. Yeah. But yeah, also, by the way, I forgot to answer Kevin's question from the super chat. He said, what YouTuber did you have the most fun with, like not on a panel? And I'm gonna let everybody answer that. But honestly, for me, I would probably have to say the person I hung out the most. I mean, I can't even choose. I would say 3, right? So obviously Quinn and David, because you guys are here, and I have to say, I'm just kidding. Obviously, I had a lot of fun chilling with you guys, but also Aziz and Tarzan. Like, because I spent a lot of time with Tarzan and Nicole pretty much like the whole weekend. Smokeahanas in the chat. And then, like, obviously we all hung out. It's like, I think the smoking point, and that's where we met all the celebrities, dude. That's where all the celebrities were. Like, outside
patio.
Yeah. And I know you guys don't even smoke cigarettes, but it's like, that was where the chill spot was. So that's where you associated with everybody. But I don't know. Out of y'all, I guess whoever wants to go first, who is the favorite YouTuber, or who did you have most fun with?
Tony Teflon was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Teflon. Hell yeah.
Yeah. No, he was such a gentleman. He was really friendly. We both got there quite early, and he came over, and so it was before everything. People had arrived, and he was really, really lovely. He was really sweet. We had a lot of good chats. But who I hung out with the most, and who just you just click with people. I mean, obviously, all you guys goes without saying. But for me, James from Just on the Throne was just he was the sweetest guy. He actually came to a vegan restaurant with me to celebrate my birthday. And he said he was devastated that he enjoyed his vegan meal so much. Of course, Phil the Issues guy. I mean, what?
Oh, yeah.
Dude. He was brilliant.
That guy is awesome. He's so crazy. I love him.
Phil the Issues guy. Hold on a second, guys. We're out on, first of all, smoke patios, not just for cigarettes. Okay, we were having a good time there. So Phil the Issues guy, he's hanging around, and he's got like this little plastic xylophone that he breaks out, and then he's got one of those little wood. He's got Got a little.
If someone can link Phil's channel in the chat, someone link his channel in the chat. So
Basically, he starts pulling out little musicians out of his bag, and he keeps going and he keeps going. And my wife, who used to be a preschool teacher, is blown away by this. And she's like, "Do you have one of those little wooden frogs with the stick?" And he's like, "Hold on." It turns out, sure enough, he's got one of those fucking little frogs. He's like,
he had it. Like, it was pretty funny.
It turns out that one of Phil's jobs is, in fact, to go to preschools and do the whole music thing. So that's like part of his bag. And if you've ever seen Phil's channel, you know, you could easily see how this guy's a natural for it. So yeah, Phil is a trip. He played the bongos. He had all the music. It was great. The only thing we lacked was the little monkey with the accordion. That's all we needed.
Yeah. Phil was such a great guy. Like, that guy's so much fun. I loved hanging out with Phil, Tony Teflon, LML, everyone, really. Everyone was wonderful. Like, it was so much fun. So much fun.
Gemma, did you have some favorites you were saying?
Yeah, James from Dust on the Throne and Phil the Issues guy.
Yeah, she started the whole conversation on those two, and we all had to pipe in. I wanted to jump on real quick and say that Tony Teflon was great with the YouTube meet and greet panel. It was it wasn't even going to be a panel. It was just an hour hangout in a room, and we're all milling about, and Tony finds his way to the microphone, you know, shock, big surprise. And pretty soon he's basically running an interview panel, and all the YouTubers are lined up like the Last Supper on this table. We got this great photo of like just a whole bunch of people crammed in at this table, and Tony just went down the line and, you know, just asked everybody little questions, and it turned into one of the most fun things that we did. And instead of like everybody having little small conversations, everybody in the room got to hear some really great stories from every YouTuber about how they got started. A lot of people got started through Aziz somehow, so we're all sort of connected to Aziz, and Tony kind of like two of the OGs, and it was great. It was great. So props to Tony for organizing that. And one of the highlights for me was definitely meeting Quinn. I've done a lot of stuff with Quinn. You know, we've worked pretty close together. So, you know, I knew he was my people, and we hung out a lot. And Sanrixian also, like Quinn said, Sanrixian we're both really tight with her. Joe Magician. So yeah, I mean, too many to name. Amanda, Crowfood's daughter.
Hell yeah. We actually got Aziz in the chat right now. If you want to join.
Oh, Aziz. Hey.
Yeah, if you want to hop in on this, my dude, let me know. I'll drop the link your way. Nancy's here too. Hey Nancy. She was the mama bear. That cheeseburger was delicious. It saved my life. Saved my life 100%.
Pocahontas is in the chat as well.
Yeah, Nicole. How you doing?
Yeah. She was awesome. Just so many people. Like, I can't, you know, there's loads of people in the chat right now that I know. People that gave me birthday presents, people I just hung out with, people that bought me drinks. I didn't spend anywhere near as much money as I brought because nobody would let me buy anything.
What's your birthday? It's your birthday.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I milked the crap out of that because you have to.
As you should.
Are we getting Aziz in the on the?
I already sent him a link. He says something about coffee. He does run on coffee. Just as Melisandre is powered by R'hllor, Aziz is basically powered by coffee. That's why his Patreon name on my show is the Black Maester Azizel, whose rod and ring and mask smells of coffee.
I must say, you know, we might be able to.
Oh, you guys keep it going real quick. I'm actually about to go grab a coffee beverage.
Yeah, go for it. See, because that's a joke, because Maester's black is a kind of coffee, so he's the Black Maester.
Of course.
The Black Maester.
I drank a lot of coffee because you guys just wouldn't let me sleep.
There was no sleeping allowed. No sleeping allowed. So I will just say, since we have a couple minutes to kill, you know, in some ways, my favorite panels were the ones where I was, you know, on everyone discussing and stuff. But I do have to say that I had the balls to request a solo panel, just me and a microphone and 50 minutes. And what can I say? I don't lack for ambition, but I was definitely, you know, a little, oh boy, how's this going to go? But I wanted to give my basic mythical astronomy spiel, and I don't really need somebody else to sort of coax that along. And it's just so deep in my head anyways, you know? So I did a solo mythical astronomy panel on Sunday, and it went really well. And like I said, it's near and dear to my heart. So the fact that it went off so well and that so many people came to that one really touched me. And I just so happy about it. So I just uploaded the video for that one. Actually, it was the first Con of Thrones panel video that I uploaded. So I'll just drop the link here in the chat, and you can find that at lucifermeanslightbringer.com. But it was awesome. It was a big moment for me. Basically, I'm sort of struggling for words. My entire 3 years experience was leading up to that panel, and I think it went really well, and I was just so happy about it.
I actually walked past the room while you were sat in there. I unfortunately was there was quite a lot of scheduling conflicts, and like you, I missed panels that I really wanted to see. And I walked past the room and I saw you, and I thought, shit, he's doing this. You up there, and you had a good crowd. And I just thought, damn, if I didn't have to go and interview Syrio Farrell right now, I could be in there. But I'm afraid Syrio won.
Yeah, story of the weekend, right? It's like just too many things to do at once. Everyone says that Syrio actor is super nice too, Miltos.
Yeah, he is.
I heard so many stories of people like, oh, I just ran into him and he did this funny thing and now he's awesome.
I don't want to be rude, but he was way shorter than I was expecting.
Dude, when I saw him last year, I was like,
guy.
I didn't think it was crazy that they were lucky that the actor, Arya, was a lot shorter, because it would have looked crazy. Like, I don't know. It was a shock.
He was super nice, though. I saw him in the hallway.
Hell yeah, he's really goofy too. I saw parts of his on stage when they had the spotlight for him. I saw parts of that. He's hilarious.
All I know is that people laughed at my jokes, and if people laugh at your jokes, then you're doing okay, right?
Speaking, Derek Hammond in the chat says it was great. LMM was blowing minds open with moon meteors. We did have a bit of a moon meteors drinking game. At one point, every time somebody mentioned moon meteors, we had to do a shot. And this is what led to the 4-hour ripping of season 7, because we said moon meteors a lot. And we should have picked a better phrase, because that was a lot of drinking.
I tried to discourage this drinking game at first, and it only fanned the flames of intensity. It backfired on me. So I asked Sanrixian to figure out a keyword for taking a glass of water, so that it's not all just shots. Because I do say moon meteors a lot.
But no, I think that's awesome, dude. Honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, I went and watched, because like I told you, you and Quinn were like some of the ones who had never been there before to have that many people say stuff. I listened to some of your stuff and I was like, yo, this dude is awesome. Some of the shit like everyone says, and I feel like I'm being cliche for saying this, because literally a lot of people said this, but some of the stuff that you mentioned is fucking over my head. And I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about, but it sounds good. And I feel like I'm learning just from listening to it. So it was awesome. But real quick in the chat, CC Zaragoza, I see you. I remember you were one of the first people that came up to me at this one too. It was nice meeting you at the con. And we also got a super chat from Wasser30. No message. Thank you for that, kind, gentle woman or man. Is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about, like some more panel stuff? I don't know. I said, yeah, dude, yeah, it was funny when I met Tony. I gotta tell a story, because I didn't even know. I forgot that we were on panels.
Quinn's like, it's not funny. I looked good. God damn it.
No, it wasn't even. No, not that. But the story about it is funny, because I met Teflon outside, and he's like, "Have you seen Quinn yet?" I was like, "Nah." He was like, "He looks like Aloe Black, like the singer, because you had the fedora on or whatever." So I was like, "Yeah, nah, dude, he's just fresh. That's all that is."
Funny thing is, I got all that shit from Walmart. It was literally the cheapest shit.
Well, maybe it's just you then, Betty.
Yeah. But yeah.
JR in the chat has just said, who had the red wedding? Who had a drink in the bar? They had White Walkers and red wedding cocktails, didn't they? In the bar, we ordered a round of red weddings, and we all kind of took a sip, and we were like, "That's different." And that was the longest drink that we took, about half an hour. It was this ginger beer and pomegranate juice, I think.
Weird.
Did you guys have one of those?
I did.
I had the one from the Starbucks. I had the White Walker drink from down there. It was like the coffee. It was basically like a small latte, yeah. But I didn't want to order a fancy drink at that bar because when I first got there, right? So like this was fucking awesome. I saw Shay sitting with her two like handlers. They're the two guys that she was there with. She was sitting at Monduel's, and I ordered just literally a water and then a flatbread, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a drink. So I got the drink before I got the food. But you guys know this was like an hour wait. I don't know what it was. The food took so long to get there. But I didn't want to order any fancy drink because I felt like it would have taken them so much longer because I just got a bourbon and Coke, and it took them like probably, I don't know, 20 minutes. I know they were busy though, so that was probably it. I'll just being an impatient.
So yeah. I think the message is if you didn't go, you need to try to go next time. That's kind of the thing. Go ahead, Gemma.
Yeah, no, I was just going to agree with Mark. Really, they did take a disproportionate amount of time, but I think they were just really busy. I mean, that place was packed all the time, permanently packed. But yeah, I mean, I came all the way from England. I traveled literally to the other side of the world, 22 hours, worth it, completely worth it. So if you didn't make it, they have already officially announced that there is going to be another one. We don't know where yet, but yeah, get tickets because it was phenomenal.
I feel like sorry, go ahead, man.
I was going to say the next one will probably be even better because it's the final season of Game of Thrones, so they have to turn up, right?
There was a little bit of a two cons at once feel. Like there was people that were mostly there for a TV show and the actors, and then there was more like book people that were there for the YouTubers and podcasters, and there was definitely some overlap. But it was a little bit like two parallel things simultaneously happening at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling you with that one. Actually, you're not the first person to say that either. I had a lot of people come and say, we've come for you guys. We've come for the YouTubers. You know, that the actors, it's great, but actually you're the guys that we've come down to see. There was a terrible clash with our YouTube meet and greet panel. In the very next room was all the actors having a panel. So I was just blown away that we still had a full room.
Yes. Someone told me that in the hallway. I was like, what? They put us up against them? What kind of scheduling is that? Like,
I know. Yeah. But I had a moment where I was sat on that panel and I was, and the audience, they were cheering, they were whooping. And I just thought, this is what it's about. You know, these guys have foregone a panel with the actors to see us. And I was just so humbled. And yeah, that blew me away.
Did you guys, David, did you invite Aziz? Aziz, did you still want to come in?
I did. I used Westeros History AA podcast. Aziz, is that the right one?
That's what I was saying. Which email did you want? Because I know we did a collab before, and I used his personal one because instead of the one for the channel. But I don't know.
I'll invite everything that I have that is like related to Aziz. So one of them will.
Sorry, Quinn. Go ahead. What were you saying, man?
I was gonna say that you guys pick up anything interesting from the marketplace.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, I got some.
Yeah, I got this gorgeous metallic painting of Cersei by this artist named Jason Parrott, and then like it was $20, but then he only had one left, and it was in the frame. He was like, "I'll let you have it for 30," and I was like, "Yes!" It's all framed. It's so nice. It's gorgeous. Love it.
I got a Jaime Lannister oven mitt, the golden. I also got a print from Blaze Manga. They gave me that as a birthday present, and they signed it. It was the one with Jon Snow with the dragon and Ghost.
Oh wow!
I think you got the same, Mark. I think it was not that one, but it was the same artists as that. Yeah, that was
those dudes are fucking amazing. Like I've already been talking with him on Instagram. I was like, look, I need some stuff commissioned. Like I've been in love with anime since I was like 11, dude, right? Like I got my American introduction to it. I got like Dragon Ball Z when I was like 10, and then I watched it also in the 90s, but I didn't know what the fuck was going on. When I was old enough to understand the concept of fandom and being obsessed with something, Dragon Ball Z and anime, it all started with that. So when I see the two mediums combined by now life, like YouTube, Google, YouTube, Game of Thrones, that's my life right now. To see it combined with something that reminds me of being a child. Like whenever I can't find something good to watch, a new show or whatever, I'll just find a new anime, and I always find something that's exactly what I'm looking for. But yeah, no. So seeing this artwork, I was like, holy shit, I have to get this. So yeah, I don't know. That this shout out to Iridescent Manga. I have their card right here. It's if you guys can see it on the but yeah, no, I got 3 of them, Jim. I got the one that you were talking about with the hang on, let me see it. With the dragon. I think like which one were you saying?
The one with the eyebrows. If that makes sense.
The one with the eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
This one?
No, the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That is on my wall right now. How awesome is that?
I'm getting them framed. I went yesterday to go to Walmart to look for one, but then my dumbass forgot to measure the actual picture, and I don't want to get a bigger one and just have like space around. I want it to look good. But yeah, yeah, it's gonna. Oh man, these are awesome. What about you guys?
Well, I picked up this snazzy sort of Targaryen-looking demon horn headgear here, which I wore to great effect. I always like it's good to have low effort horns, you know, because the full antler King of Winter thing takes a lot of work, and I can just sort of slap this one on, so that's good. I got one of my favorite things that I got was this gift from Sanrixian. Is the Opal Emperor.
Oh, that's
so an original drawing by her, and I'll give you a little bit of the detailed shot because this thing is crazy looking.
That's stunning.
Yeah. And then another highlight, going to see Solo with Aziz and Ashaya and Sean and some other friends on Thursday night before the con. Don't believe what you hear, folks. It's definitely a good movie. Go see it. We'll just leave it at that. And Steph is, I think maybe sounds like she gave Gemma a present too. A couple of presents Steph was giving out. She gave me a Bloodstone wolf head pendant, which was super nice. And she even had a little sparkly amethyst koala pendant for the amethyst koala.
I got this Targaryen medallion.
That's really nice. I like it a lot.
Hell yeah, dude.
I saw someone in the chat saying that the Game of Thrones cutting boards were pretty good. I actually got one of those too. I got one with the Targaryen sigil on it, so that's really nice.
Nice. Is it like etched? Is it like wood burned into it, or
yeah? It's like etched, and it's like coated in this like stuff so that you can wash it and it's fine. The wood won't degrade. It's really nice.
Yeah, overall, I thought the marketplace was really, really strong. I mean, there was awesome.
Bigger than last year. It was definitely
there was jewelry, there was soaps, there was clothing, there was all kinds of cool stuff like sculptures. I mean,
Tea of Thrones,
lots of foam weapons. They had a foam giant warhammer that it was very hard for me not to buy. And okay. Aziz says coffee acquired, link required. I sent him, Aziz, I've sent you an Aziz Al-Dulri invitation and a Westeros History invitation to the Hangout. So it should be there.
They had a bunch of really nice drinking horns too. My friend got
dude.
one.
Yeah, I didn't get one there, but my girlfriend got me one for Christmas.
Oh.
Thor's like a Thor's thing. It's somewhere. Here it is. But yeah, no, I saw that. I saw you guys had one. I remember when we were sitting to watch the speaking of which, I think one of the best lines, one of the best like memes that summarizes the entirety of it is like during the cosplay. You remember when they're interviewing the Harpy girl? One that was like one of the best cosplays in my opinion. Yeah. She goes, they were saying something, and she goes, I like glitter.
Oh my God.
He goes, oh my God, that was like the best. That was one of the best moments of the con. That was
so hilarious. We all just died.
He goes, I like glitter. I was like, what?
I like glitter.
Hell yeah,
some of the cosplays were amazing. Did you see the guy who was the wall?
Hell yes.
Oh my God.
He should have won, in my opinion. I understand people spent hours on their cosplay, but that was genius. Like
it kind of made me mad when the girls on stage were like, "We can't vote for a box," and I'm just like, "Come on,
he's the wall.
Come on,
he's not a box. He's the fucking wall." But yeah, no, I feel like there should be next year. I'm gonna petition for different categories, so you'll have most comedic or.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was a guy who was dressed up as the Winds of Winter, and he was just wearing blank pages. And
LML didn't like that guy.
no, I saw him a distance away going into the main hall, and as he went in, there was a crowd, and they all went boo.
Yeah, that might have just been me, or hopefully there was a couple other people booing.
I
but
felt like we were kind of far apart when I was standing when I first came in, and you were further apart. And when whoever did that, I immediately looked over it and I just saw my man with the horns on. I was like, yeah, dude. No, I understand that. Like, dude, he can't even fucking post anything. It's to the point now. I've seen Quinn. I've been following you for a while. You said something about it, and I said something about it. People fucking talking in his comment section, like this motherfucker. I don't even mean to call him that. George will post a picture of him just eating some food or something. Why aren't you writing the book, mother? Like, and then this
every fucking time, dude. Every goddamn time.
Yeah, and then this guy literally might have been one of those commenters, and then he brings it to a convention where people do nothing but love George's work.
So listen. In fairness, I realized that I knew somebody who knew that person, and I asked them. I was like, "Is this costume as bad as it seems?" And they actually explained that it was a little better intentioned. So it wasn't meant to be, because what it was like a bunch of blank pages of the Winds of Winter. And so you could read the costume as like, George hasn't written anything for Winds of Winter, which is how I took it. He was intending to say, I'm the unfinished pages of the Winds of Winter. And so it was a little bit more, not necessarily trying to be a mean troll, but maybe more like a good-hearted laugh about it. So I went ahead and retracted my ill will and chose to view it as good-natured. I mean, it is fair to like tease George a little bit if we were friends with him or something. Obviously the relentless trolling online is terrible, but
George gets way too much of it. It just makes me so upset that he can't even probably look at his own Twitter because a bunch of assholes every time he tweets, I'm gonna finish the fucking book. And it's like, I know how it's like to just work on something constantly, and you cannot do that for decades. I mean, without stopping and taking a break. So I feel like people should just get over it. Let him work at his own pace.
Aziz, what's up, my dude? Welcome to the party.
Hey.
Can we get a little something more than what's up? Oh,
you're muted.
You're muted, buddy. Nope, still muted, Aziz. Can't hear you. You're talking to nobody.
Guy carried on. He was like carrying on.
He's totally carrying on. Aziz, we cannot hear you.
We can't hear you.
Nope.
Nope. Sorry. Nothing.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, we got it. Yeah. Good. Go on then.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, I didn't plug a mic in, just a webcam. Forgot to switch it. Standard things that you screw up before drinking coffee, if you're me. I've only had 3 sips. That's not enough yet.
Have you made it back home? Are you still in Texas? You back home?
Yeah, get control of your situation there, Aziz. There's bleed over everywhere.
Yeah. Weird echo. Oh, I can hear myself twice.
Damn it, Tim, I'm a doctor, not a sound engineer.
Well, this is awkward.
Oh, it'll be worth it once we get the sweet velvety tones of Aziz Al-Dulri flowing.
I like the way you say his name, dude. It's very mystical. I like that.
Well, I specialize in making things sound mystical, Sir Hunts.
Mythical.
Although I can't hold a candle to Creepy Quinn, of course.
In the annals of Shy, they're like...
Yeah, headphones, Aziz. There we go. He's got them. And yes, there's already been a kitty sighting. There we go.
We're working on it. Trying not to give y'all feedback here.
No, it sounds good now. Sounds good.
Okay, good. No doubling, no echo.
Nope, it's perfect.
No.
So take the stage. Go ahead. You've heard us all recap. What do you got?
Well, shoot. Yeah, the con was amazing. I'm still, you know, I have that sort of half buzzed from how great it was and half sad that it's over. But, you know, overall, the happiness is the thing that's going to continue, the thing that's going to last, the thing that's going to carry over to future weeks and months. And it's really motivating. You know, I think one of the things that we talk about is how great the community is, but this is when it comes together. You know, this is kind of what a lot of us have, all of us here have spent time helping develop the community and enhance it and add to it in our own ways. And so it's kind of a reward for us all to get to go there and see what are, you know, none of us individually have, you know, are responsible for the community, but as a group, we have a large role. So we get to go there and see, you know, it's sort of like reaping the harvest in a sense. We get to see all the great people that have spent so much time putting work into this, and you know, it's really nice to have people just come up to you and say thanks, and you know, and I always say thanks back to them, and it's things like that. And yeah, it's just so I think saying I called it being buzzed, and I think that's pretty good word to use, because it really is almost like a drug, you know, in a good way, like a positive energy that you can't really describe exactly, but you know where it came from. So yeah, it was super fun to meet all you guys. I had met only out of all of y'all on this live stream here, I'd only met Mark before. Sir Hunt, we hung out at Con of Thrones last year, but David and Quinn and Gemma, I didn't get to meet any of y'all till this weekend. And yeah, it was everything I hoped for. Everybody was fun and excited, and we got to watch the late last night. We watched the boat sex video. That was so good.
That was really funny.
So Aziz, I've asked them, everybody here, what was like one of your, well, two questions. We'll do a twofer. What was your favorite panel like that you did? And I know you did a bunch of them, so that might be pretty hard. But also, what was like your favorite moment, like of the con of its entirety?
Okay. I think my favorite panel, geez, I'm not sure. I've been answering the Sounds of Westeros panel because it's the one I learned the most on. You know, we had some people that know their stuff musically, and there's one of them in particular, Andy Keithley, who does a show called Guitar Cast, podcast called Guitar Cast, and he went through some of Ramin Djawadi's music and showed where he wrote in themes of opposition, like ice and fire, you know, like we have in the literary and on the show, actual themes. So he did a demonstration of how the music a lot of times is written that way. And oh, here we go, passing Paddock black and white.
Nice. I try to get my cats to walk on like counters and stuff. My older cat, he's like, "Fuck you, put me down." Yeah, he's like, "Why'd you put me up here?" Just because, I don't know, it would be cool to have them like jump up when I'm like writing something, or just, you know, looking on the internet, just have them jump up, but they won't do it. They'll claw at the back of my chair, and then that's letting me know, like, okay, pick me up, sir. You know what I mean? But
every once in a while they claw at the back of my chair too, and this chair is really thin, so really it ends up just being clawing at my back. So that's no fun.
Nice.
You guys were talking about cool stuff you bought earlier. When I was trying to get my gear set up here, and I got we went on the last day. That's kind of good tech. It's good to support the vendors all days, but I always tend to go on the last day. I have that habit. Sometimes that's a good day to get deals, because a lot of them are packing up. You know, they want to go home, but they're trying to sell a few extra things so they don't have to take them home with them. You know, maybe saves them a little packing, or even saves them a little space in their bags or whatever. So it's occasionally some good deals to be had. But I got one of those, the guy who makes the weapons. You're talking about the big hammer. I got his big Ironborn shield, the big old full-sized. Nice. I want to hang that up on the wall and maybe have that in the background for a video or something. Too cool to not show, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. We got a super, yeah, and I have some more art. Speaking of deals, but real quick, my fucking ADD is going insane right now. Okay, so thank you so much, Over Demand, for the super chat. Appreciate that. He says, just because I love George R. R. Martin and Sir Hunt's review videos. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And yeah, no, I had some art that he tossed in an extra painting for me. the other guy that I got artwork from, because like he normally did, I think it was like 3 of them for 30. He gave me a 4th one for that. So yeah, that's a good idea, man. I didn't think I probably could have gotten my necklaces for cheaper if I had gone on the last day. Now I know for next year.
Yeah, it's good to go the first day because you get to see the best stuff, you know, and you want to pay top dollar for the best stuff because they deserve it. But then, you know, the stuff that maybe didn't quite work out as well or something they ended up with a few extras of, you know, get a deal and then give them a deal and then later get a deal. That's how I see it.
Nice. But yeah, no. So what were you saying when I initially had interrupted you about your favorite panel? You were saying the Sounds of Westeros.
Oh yeah, I think I'd mostly finished with that, but one other thing I wanted to say was that just the good example that he made clear. 2 things he did that were really nice was one that he brought his iPad with a keyboard emulator, so he was actually playing examples for the crowd. He was playing like the intro to the theme song, the main riff in particular, and he showed how it goes from. It starts off in minor and goes to major key. So that transition is part of that opposition theme we were talking about, where you have ice and fire, love and hate, love and death, things like that. Or life and death. I said love and death, didn't I? Life and death. Yeah, love and death, you know, whatever. So yeah, so I think that's really cool. That's something I like really look forward to, and it's something that's a bit of not a struggle, but like one of those good problems to have, where I want to go to a lot of panels, but I have a lot of my own, and you need to take breaks every once in a while. So I got to a lot of panels this year, more than I got to go to last year, even though I had about the same panel load myself. I made more of a point to check.
Yeah, Aziz, I'm dying inside listening to you. I'm a musician, as you know. Me and Aziz are both musicians. He plays guitar, I play bass. You've got a music degree. I don't have a music degree, but I also do a lot of audio production. I've recorded a lot of songs, and I
like Primus live on live streams. You know,
well, yes, I've known to play.
David, I read your bio. So is that don't you have a company that does that, like audio?
Yeah, I actually make guitar pedals with a couple of dudes and get super techie with it. Yeah, it's a big surprise. My guitar pedals have a lot of knobs and they're very complicated.
Well, here, let me tell a fun story.
You have one knob is labeled mystical, and you just turn it at different stages.
Always turn to 11.
Flanger, and then you turn it up more, and it's like a grunge.
No, it's worse. It's worse than you think. Okay, so we named this company before I ever started Lucifer Means Lightbringer. The name of the company, Brimstone Audio. Okay. We named one of our pedals Ouroboros and another one Basilisk. So
nice. Is Basilisk like is that like metal? I would assume
it's pretty fucking metal, actually. Yes.
Let me speaking of metal, let me tell you, this is a true story. Okay, so one day David and I are talking on Skype, and I'm like, hey, I'm getting ready to go out and see this band, High on Fire, and he's like, oh, say hi to their bass player for me. They know I made his distortion pedal. I'm like, what? Small world, man. He's like, yeah, just go talk to Jeff. That's his name. He knows me.
Ben Brown in the chat said the mystical knob goes to 11.
It does. Indeed.
Why not just make 10 higher? These go to 11.
Well, 11's it's one more.
So that was when I knew David was extra cool, when you go into a band and he's part of the gear that makes the show.
Yeah, and again,
Bay Area band too, so it makes sense.
Bay Area band sings about pot and Satan. Yes, just so happens there's a crossover. Those guys are great. Of course, Satan in the tongue-in-cheek metal way that you do, of course. But
yes.
Yeah, great guys. And in any case, that panel sounds amazing. I'm definitely dying not to have been able to go to that one. I'm waiting for the audio and or video of that. The idea of him sitting there showing how he uses the key changes to evoke different emotions. I mean, God, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I went to a group interview with Paula Fairfield. There was like Gemma, you were there. We were.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah, we were. I don't know. I think she was just telling us like different inside stuff, and she started talking about how I uploaded the clip the other day about how she got the voice for Nymeria and all the different dogs in Nymeria's wolf pack. That's a really good inside story, and I would explain it right here, but then I can't say go watch the video. Make sure you do that. I'll try to link that in the chat. But yeah, no, it was really good. And then also she gave us a little bit of insight, and this is sort of like breaking it here because I don't know if anyone else. I don't know if Kyle's uploaded the Paula Fairfield
No,
interview
he hasn't yet. He's still on a plane right now. I know what you got. I know what you're just about to drop because obviously I was there. So do it. Go for
I was
it.
about to say, I was telling people at every panel that I had after that interview, I told everybody in the crowd because a lot of them were related to the show, like the spinoff one and then season 8 predictions. But no, she has not started work yet. So that means her work, she explained, goes hand in hand with the CGI, and she hasn't started working yet. She predicts that it will be sometime in November, but she doesn't know. So she doesn't go in until they've pretty much filmed most of it. And I don't know. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that'll be out. I guess since David, you said we can upload the full panels, I imagine we can upload full interviews. So I'm gonna upload the rest of that as probably as soon as we finish this up.
They said it clear as day. Any panel that you are a part of, you can put out the whole thing, and supposedly they're going to provide us with the audio off the mics.
Last year, Aziz can attest to this. Last year, the audio I've heard, I never got because I recorded all mine and I had like a little tiny GoPro mic, and it was my audio was terrible. But I heard that the audio that they provided, something happened during like the rendering where it didn't sound. Is it? You remember that, Aziz?
Oh, it was terrible. I remember it well. We were pretty frustrated with it because we had told people before the con we'd be releasing a good bit of the audio to people who couldn't make it, and we did end up releasing some of it. I was able to, dive deep and perform surgery on some of it, but the state in which some of it was published on Stitcher Premium was really just shocking. Terrible. That, right? It was terrible. I mean, it was worse than my first episode in 2012. It's way worse. Like there was a persistent squealing sound. Like it was clear that no one had listened to it before publishing it, because never would have put it up if they had heard it. We were blown away by how terrible it sounded. But some of them we were able to actually repair and publish as bonus episodes. I think only 2 of them. I might have been able to repair some more of them if I tried really hard, but the whole thing was kind of frustrating. But I think they did a better job this year, supposedly, but we have not heard the results yet. So yeah. I did less promising of recorded audio for people because I wasn't. I didn't want to have that to not be able to follow through like last year.
I got a lot of good recordings, and the audio right off of my camera was pretty good. I mean, it's camcorder audio, but it's got like a 5.1 microphone, and I put up one video already on the Lucifer Means Lightbringer YouTube channel, and the audio is pretty good. What I did is I bounced the audio out to my Ableton Live, which is what I edit all of my audio and music stuff in, and so I applied all of my audio. Ableton Live.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, Ableton Live is like the super simplest recording software for musicians, and it's built to work on loops. So it's good for songwriting because you can record everything in loops and then piece your songs together. It's also good for like live DJs or electronic music people because you can sequence loops and stuff. But I actually use it to make my podcasts because it's the easiest to edit audio in. I'm going to actually make a YouTube video with like my audio editing tips one day. But geez, now I forgot what we were talking about. Where do we start with? The audio. So I was saying that, I got pretty good audio off of my camera. And so I put one video up with that already, but yeah, hopefully we'll get even better audio from the microphones if they send it out.
I'm currently being assaulted by a vicious beast live on camera.
A cruel beast. He's got big, sharp, pointed teeth. He leaps about.
Is that
Look at the bones.
He's threatening to push his butt right into the camera.
All right, so at this point, I don't know if there's any other YouTubers that might be lurking in the chat that hasn't said anything. Hop in there. We'll try to get you on this little panel, this post-con discussion panel, and ask you some questions. But also, I'm gonna ask. I have 3 questions, and I'm gonna start off with this one, and I'm gonna start off with Quinn.
Can I give props to the chat real quick? Steven Stark just sent us a super chat, and
shit. Thank you, sir.
Steven Stark deserves a mention. He is a native Texan, played host to a lot of people. He took Aziz and Ashay in for a couple days. He organized a barbecue, an amazing barbecue in the park on Sunday night. Was one of the everything's a highlight, but it was really cool. It was like in this, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like a whole block party that broke out. Barbecues everywhere, basketball. People brought up like speakers, and they were rapping and playing music and drinking, and like we were cooking out, and it was just the best time. And Steven basically made it all happen. So just I can't thank him enough.
Yeah, shout out to, does he have like a Twitter or like anything that he does for Game of Thrones? We can link in the chat and everybody go follow him.
He's on Twitter.
Okay.
At Steven Stark, I think, right?
He did some panels at the con. I don't know. Of course, like the rest of us, we don't know what the state of the recordings are just yet. So, but that'll be something to link to later.
Yeah, thank you for that super chat, sir. And yeah, once again, shout out to Steven Stark. We had a few conversations. What's up, my dude? But yeah, no, I have like 3 questions I want to ask you guys. And if, like I said, if there's no other YouTubers that are lurking in the chat that want to jump on here, we'll, I guess we'll kind of wrap it up after that. Maybe we can have another one of these, or if you guys have anything planned. But, the first question, and I want to ask Quinn this, cause I feel like I haven't heard from him in a while.
Okay.
Damn, all of that setting up, and I forget the question. It was a good one. I know it was a really good one.
That's the question.
Okay.
What question was I about?
It's talking about next year. Where, if you could vote to have Con of Thrones 2019, what city would you vote in? Because I saw on the Facebook page there's like a bunch of comments of people saying different places. My personal vote would be, I've never been anywhere pretty much west of Dallas or any of those states up there. I've been in New Orleans. I heard that was a popular one, but I was hoping for Las Vegas, Denver, or somewhere in California. Where would you like to have it at, man?
Okay, so like I said, I drove 17 hours to get to Dallas. So I'm saying
about
Atlanta.
18 hours. Yeah.
Just put it in Atlanta. I can just drive right up there.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
No, I'll vote for that. You know, I'm totally up for that.
Aziz is like, fuck yeah, party at my house, right, dude?
Yeah.
Right. $1, all invited.
Pure self-interest here. I see.
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Sure.
You could like, yeah, dude. That would be nuts. All right, so whoever wants to go next, where would you?
Gemma.
What was the question again?
Where, like, if you could have it, 2019.
You know what she's gonna say.
Yeah, I was about to say, honestly, I would be down with anywhere over there because I've never been to Europe. That would be amazing.
The popular location that was being banded around was, of course, Vegas. Hell yeah, I'm up for Vegas. I've been to Vegas before. I spent 2 wild weeks in Vegas. Caesar's Palace or the Bellagio. Can you imagine?
Caesar's Palace is gorgeous.
I think
Yeah,
Vegas
it's really nice.
is one of the most popular ones because that's what a lot of people were saying in that comment section on the Facebook post I'm talking about.
Well, so here's the thing. When you go to this con, you really don't get much of a chance to go and sightsee because once you start making friends with everybody, all you want to do is hang out with different people. And there's so many people to hang out with. So you don't end up like touring around and looking at museums. All you do is hang out at the con, hang out at parties, go out eating and drinking together. So to me, it's actually the best city for a con is a cheap city, like not San Francisco. Everyone's like San Francisco. Like, yeah, it's great to come to San Francisco just to visit San Francisco, but that's not where you want to have a con. Everything is expensive and difficult to get around. You want to go to like Columbus, Ohio, or I don't know. I'm just pulling a city that has a good convention center, airport close by, and cheap everything. That's actually the good recipe, in my opinion. So I don't know which city that is. It might well be Vegas, and that's kind of what I was leading to. Is Vegas obviously does conventions all the time. It is kind of cheap there.
Steven goes, Denver equals legal weed.
That is a valid point.
So does Vegas, to be fair. But yes, Denver is prettier.
Whoever got the better concentrates. Let's be serious. I'm just kidding.
I got to echo David there because it's true that it's a big deal to pick a spot that people can afford to get to and afford to be there with. And it's totally true about the sightseeing too. When people sightsee at cons, they get there way before everyone else or leave way after. Like if you're going to stay, if you have a con that's normally like a Thursday till Monday, people who sightsee typically would do that on a Tuesday because there's still enough people hanging around on a Monday a lot of times. Like we were still there Monday. We didn't leave till 7. Our flight was 7:45 p.m. So we had a little get together. And so if people who sightsee, they make a big trip out of it and go for a full week and spend about 5 of those days at the con. But then not everyone can do that because that's a whole week off. You know, that's rough for a lot of people to do that. We see that more often with people that go a really long way. Like our a buddy we met during the weekend. I think all of you met Simon Amundsen, the guy from Sweden.
Yes.
Of course, he came from Sweden, so he was staying a whole nother week. You know, because
heck, that guy. I totally met that. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he had like blonde hair.
He stayed in our room after the party had ended. He stayed in our room until 6:30 a.m. drinking vodka shots.
Jesus. Fucking Swedes know how to party.
Nice. He went with us to the party on Monday too. He was still around, so yeah, we all made friends. Just a good example.
It must be said that Dallas was pretty great. It was a lot of cheap food around town. Yeah. It was not on off. I mean, the city was a little confusing to drive around, but I think that's how it always is, like when you've never been to a city. But the convention center itself knocked it out of the park. Very hospitable. They had the cool Westeros map on the floor and themed drinks and the bar and the coffee shop. And, you know, they didn't clamp down on the smoke patio, which was kind of the whole thing. So,
we were really using them quite a lot, were we?
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny.
The fact that store was open 24 hours to shop with the sandwiches and the coffees and everything. That's so clutch at a con when something's open that has food 24/7. Because man, I've been to cons where there's no food at like 2 in the morning and you're just like really struggling.
Oh, dude, so sometimes a turkey sandwich is like just a thing.
Yeah, they even had hot food. You could get like a ham and cheese croissant at like hot ham and cheese at like 3, 4 in the morning. Boy. That works out.
Yeah, I was wondering because I had like gone down. I had to heat up my food that Nancy. I don't know if you're still here in the chat, Nancy, but Nancy gave me this burger that was literally a lifesaver. And I didn't realize my room didn't have a microwave, so I went all the way up to my room and had to go back down. And
dude,
I saw there was someone there, and I didn't want to ask them like because I saw that they were open, but I was like that'll be cold, and then like I don't know how that would have worked, but that's awesome that they still heat up the food and shit and like serve it like a regular restaurant. I thought if anything, maybe just a part of it would be open. But
so one night I ordered pizza, right? and I wanted to put a slice in the microwave. And so I open the closet and I see what I think is a microwave. And I go like, why is the microwave in the closet? And I literally put the pizza in it. And then I go, wait, this is a safe. It's not a microwave.
Quinn's pizza's locked in the closet. And then now there's a safe in the closet too.
Oh, now the cop's going in the closet, and he's in there. Nice. That's fucking hilarious. Did you close the door and start pressing the button?
Almost, but then I realized it like before I closed.
Like, oh damn it! I've locked my pizza in the safe now.
Fabric on the inside, so I'm like, why does this microwave have fabric?
Imagine room service when they came in and cleaned, like after you left, and you're like opening the safe. They're like, what the fuck is this?
What the fucking room nerds get?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Oh my god,
that's pretty good. So shall we mention? Has the picture of Bookshelf Stud made its way to the internet? Is that still a secret or
Bookshelf Stud?
Yeah, you know, he's the short, handsome guy that rolls with Joe Magician,
who looks like Rob Stark.
No, he's the second largest nesting doll in a Richard Madden nesting doll, according to Manu.
I like that.
Dude, Manu, that guy has a talent for putting things into words.
He does.
Yeah. It's fucking. Have y'all seen his Twitter rants? Obviously, during the show or during the season, those are hilarious.
Yeah, he's on point very often.
Yep, definitely. So what's the code for this microwave? The Green Gray says.
Enter it wrong, you lose your pizza forever.
And real quick, the Green Grace is a good example of someone who I met at the con and said, hey, get on Twitter. And they popped up on Twitter and now seeing them around. So yes, this is great. We're just making connections left and right.
Nice.
One big family.
If anyone's watching real quick, I see Team Pugador said, I've got a pic of him if y'all need it. That reminds me, if anyone who's watching right now was at the con and has like pictures, please submit them on Twitter so we can retweet. So that gets more of the experience out to everyone. Because I did a really shitty job, and I'm going to call myself out here, on filming more interactions with fans and stuff. Because that's honestly just as important to put up. I feel, on my channel to show the experience, as well as the interviews and the panels that I did. So if anyone has any of those gems, please tweet them at us. I have everyone's channel except for Aziz. I got to put Aziz's channel in the description, but I have everyone else's channel down below in the description. I'm also going to put your Twitters.
Cool.
That way, everyone, tweet those at us so we can.
Yeah, and remember to hashtag Con of Thrones.
Yeah.
When you post those things so that everyone can find them. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, hashtag Con of Thrones and hashtag Con of Thrones 2018, because we used hashtag Con of Thrones last year too. So some of those older posts will show up. But if you use that one and the one for 2018. But Aziz, I think I asked everyone what their favorite moment was, and you were in the middle of sort of explaining that, and then we got on this sidetrack. What was because you mentioned your favorite panel. What was your favorite one of your favorite moments?
I'm so bad at favorite moments. Whenever someone's like, "What's your top 10 this or that?" I'm just like, so I'll just try to name a few that come to mind. David mentioned the nice smoking area outside. That's I want to give a shout out to that. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's certainly not a moment, but there was so much conversation happened, so much meeting happened out there because it was a relatively small area, well protected and centralized. So there was, every time I walked out there, I swear I met somebody new. So it was like this constant like meet and greet area that was completely unplanned and completely that no one could have predicted, I think. So that was really cool.
Hold on. No one could have predicted. I'm sorry, but Lucifer means
could have predicted.
Lucifer means Lightbringer, Lord of the Smoke area. Knew exactly how that was going to go down. Thank you very much.
Your powers of foresight were greater than mine.
Well, actually, no. So to your point, it was a little bit of a surprise that it was so chill or whatever. What happened is everybody was at first it was all vapes, which is a lot more on the DL, and it got so comfortable that we started twisting, and
everyone was like, "Fuck it, let's just light a joint."
Yeah, I saw maybe one police officer pop into the con, like in one of the con rooms at one point, just walk into the hotel, and then I think he was gone probably. Oh, he walked into that's what it was. He walked into Karaoke. And I was like, oh, that's a police officer. That's the only one I saw all weekend, besides, out in Dallas.
Sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry, but this is officially the one too many time that anyone has sung "Don't Stop Believing." I'm going to have to arrest you. Oh yeah, and shout out shout out to Ashaya and the Quiplash. That was lots of fun.
I was gonna say that was on my list as well. She really had to make do. It was kind of a with any convention, even one that's run professionally, there's going to be some things that go wrong. And in this case, this one unfortunately kind of landed on Ashaya's foot. One particular thing that went wrong, which is that she was supposed to run an official Quiplash game on the main stage, featuring some of the actors and some of the con people and some of us podcasters. And that was going to be a great way to entertain people, because with Quiplash, the audience can vote on people's funny answers. All you need is your phone and a browser, so it doesn't really need much. But it fell through, them having internet on the main stage, which is a strange thing to not have in 2018. But yeah. Sure enough. And then Ashaya ended up just taking a small financial hit. She spent $20-$30 just setting up a mobile hotspot with her phone. And we set up in the bar, kind of behind the bar. But there's this very wide open space near the stairs, which are near. So it was a really good area because it was a common area. People could see us over there. And at one point, we had probably over 30 people playing, and it kept going for hours. She ran it 2 different nights. So yeah, big shout out to her for slogging through the technical situation and getting it to work and inviting people. So she did lose her voice a little bit because of it. She's still kind of a little scratchy from talking over the loud bar and all the laughter and everything. But she would do it all over again, I'm sure, because we wrote a lot of those questions. She wrote nearly all of them. But now, David, you're excited about contributing to that too, huh?
Yeah, I love word games. I'm into it. I'm going to try to help you come up with some new ones. And let me just say that meeting you and Ashaya was definitely very, very high on the list of things I was looking forward to. A lot of you guys know, basically Aziz and Ashaya kind of gave me my break when I was just a tiny little podcast that nobody had ever heard of. I pitched the Great Empire of the Dawn idea to Aziz, and we worked on it for several months, made 3 episodes out of it. And that was really got me into the sort of the bloodstream of the community. And then Tony Teflon tapped me on the shoulder, and Gray Area tapped me on the shoulder. And from there, I was up and running and working with Ideas of Ice and Fire. And so, yeah, it was just great to meet you and Ashaya. Ashaya in particular is lots of fun. So, yeah, she's a trip. You got a good one there, Aziz.
I did indeed. I'll hold on tight.
The notorious map dress made an appearance. That was great.
Yeah, she's got building up a collection there, and she got some.
Did she ever get a picture of her in the map dress laying on the map?
Oh, I think she might have been on the map, but I don't remember she was wearing the map dress when she did that.
Yeah, because I laid down on the map and did the whole Arm of Dorne thing, and I put my arm over the Arm of Dorne. Wow. That was pretty good. But yeah, Ashaya in the map dress, she missed out if she did not do the map picture.
Good idea, man. That's a really good idea.
She was wearing a Tully dress one night, and she had the scaly tights, like the fish tights, and I thought that was a nice touch.
She's building up a nice collection over the years.
And I just want a quick shout out to Phase Foria. Sarah Maglia met her, and Stone Dancer, Oscar, and a couple other really good friends, Steph is, that we were hanging with. And also my friend Amanda from The Disputed Lands. The Disputed Lands is a new YouTube channel that you guys should all check out if you have not, for like the absolute best video on the Grey King and Ironborn myth. She's one of the first people I ever met in the fandom way back in 2015. First person I ever Skyped with about Ironborn stuff and the Fire of the Gods. And she sort of disappeared into the world of raising children for a while after writing a few essays, and then reappeared like a year ago with better essays and a YouTube channel. And I invited her. Well, you know, once I got invited to Con of Thrones, I turned around and was like, hey, Susan, I've got a couple friends that you really, really should give a spot to. And that was Quinn, Ideas, and Amanda. And so I extended the invitation, and then Susan listened to their stuff and saw that they were awesome, put them on a couple panels, and seeing Amanda get there and just absolutely destroy on the Nature Cycle Mythology panel, and then also on the Archetypes of the Seven, which was another one we haven't talked about yet, but we got into the archetypes of the Seven, how they speak to patriarchy and gender roles in Westeros, which is obviously a touchy subject. And I was so glad to have Amanda there. She had so many great things to say about the Celtic triple goddess. We even navigated a little bit of a sticky situation with a persistent questioner. She handled it gracefully, and I was just blown away by her. So
yeah, shout out to Cece in the chat. She said that she likes how we all at the YouTuber meet and greet panel, well, Tony turned it into a panel. Me and him both were like, yo, it just seems silly to not be up on the stage because the mics were all set up, so we might as well, because it started, more and more people started coming, so we're like, no one's going to be able to hear this. But nah, man, he emceed the shit out of that. But yeah, shout out to Teflon. Well, yeah, she said most of us concluded that we started our channels because there's not too many people in our lives that we could talk to about Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's knowledgeable and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
My first video is me on a shitty webcam, literally sitting in a closet talking about the children of the forest. Yeah.
My first.
I love the stories of our early days in our channels.
I almost want to delete my first videos, dude. They're so cringy. Like, I tried to be right. So like I wrote a script, but I put it in front of me, and I'm like, I wrote really shitty jokes, and I thought it would be funny if I act like I messed up one of those jokes. So I wrote, hey, pretend to mess up the joke. So I like try to act that out on screen, and it was like, I don't know. It was like an inception of a joke. It was funny.
So Quinn, you know, like we were talking about, you know, you were saying you're a little bit shy, and people always compliment you about the depth and the intelligence in your podcast. So let me give you a tip as far as, like, you know, loosening up, hamming it up, entertaining the people. If you don't do a live stream in a closet with pizza in a safe very soon, you're missing out.
That's probably the best meme, dude. That and I like glitter are the two best memes.
I like glitter.
Pizza in a safe.
Quinn, you have to give the people what they want, man. Just go with it. That's why I'm wearing these friggin' horns, man. Give the people what they want.
Oh, there it is. Everyone's we're all tired, right? It's not just me.
Yeah, definitely tired.
I got a good rest in last night, but oh boy, the night before, yeah, was sluggish. It was recovery day. You got to have one day to recover at least. I guess, Gemma, you deserve more than one day because you took more than one day just to travel. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm back. I keep saying, oh, it was an amazing 3 days. And everyone said, but you've been gone a week.
Yeah, it was travel.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm not including the days that I was being frisked in multiple airports.
Hey, Gemma, you're being sucked in the other dimension. I think you got an echo double going on, Gemma.
Oh, hang on.
But yeah, no, that was the weirdest thing to me. Like when I fly out of the normal airport, I fly out of the person who does the pat down. I think it's random, but they can do like random searches at the. What was it? I flew into DFW, but then I flew out of like Love Field. So when I flew into Fort Worth, the person, when they're like checking your pockets and shit, and they make you take off your belt, he's like touching your front, touching your rear sides or whatever. And I'm like, bro, I get it. You're going to have to touch the bottom part of my nutsack. You don't have to like, I was like, this is so awkward. And there's like people standing around. So it's almost like they want to look to see what part he's touching. Like what, that shit was hilarious, dude. I was like, this is so fucking awkward.
On the way in to America, I got frisked at Humberside Airport, and then I got frisked in Amsterdam Airport. Like anyone brings anything to Amsterdam.
Yeah, you need to worry about going out.
I'm taking 30 pounds of hash out of Amsterdam. You guys are searching before I get here.
And then Minneapolis again, and I just literally I'd been on the plane for 9 hours. And I'm sweaty and smelly, and I'm thinking, oh, I just don't need this right now. But no, they were actually really cool about it. You know, we were having a guy opened all my makeup bag, and this is the glitter again, Mark. He opened a little pot of. He said, "What's this?" And I said, "It's glitter, like highlighter, makeup girl shit, you know." And he opened it up, and it exploded all over him. And I thought, he's gonna have gold glitter on his hands for weeks.
Harpy would have loved that.
Oh man, dude, that was so funny. That was so funny. That would have been hilarious too. Like how? That's so funny.
That's kind of a. I don't have a glitter bomb story, but y'all, you know, my full name is Abishai Aziz Al-Dori, and I used to be a traveling consultant when 9/11 happened. So, yeah, let me tell you about my experience with random searches. Well, I also used to travel. My consulting partner, well, not my partner, the guy I always used to travel with was a guy named Brian Waters. So, you know, that's about as besides being cool because its last name was Waters, which is obviously on point for Game of Thrones. He didn't care about Game of Thrones. He was from a town in Georgia that is next to Vidalia, you know, the city that has the onions named after it. Well, his town is still salty over the onions not being named after their town. They were like, they had this battle over which city got the onions. So they're like, Vidalia stole the name from they're our onions. Like, what the? Anyway, so Brian Waters and I would go to all sorts of, you know, places to do work. And very often he got searched maybe once in about 6 months, and I would get searched almost every time. We'd look at each other like, yeah, random, huh? And one time I got searched twice at the same time, like at the gate and then again, or when I went to get my ticket and then again at the gate. I'm like, y'all just searched me 5 minutes ago. What's going on? Like, what are you doing? Couldn't believe that. But yeah, I just was like, I just got in the routine of packing extremely loose, like whatever. I know they're just gonna pop this thing open and rifle through it, so I may as well just. Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna say we're about to get real for a second. Like, not necessarily like it's a bad thing, but it's a good thing because I feel comfortable enough with you guys that I can say this. First thing is, I want to comment on Aziz on what you were just saying. I have a beard. I look like a lot of people assume that I'm Muslim. What I didn't realize was that in an airport, they constantly are taking your name, checking your tickets. So they see your name, and then they associate that if someone wanted to, they would be able to check at any time. But I feel like the airport probably has sensors that go off when someone, and I know it sounds crazy, but probably go off when someone has an alert type name. And you were just saying that. And I think one of the reasons why I didn't get singled out more was because when they looked at my ID, like, you know, when you first show up, they probably can communicate if they think someone's sketchy. They have a way to communicate with their employees that work further down the line, like getting through security and shit. And I feel like they can flag your name in my name. So when they see that with mine, they're like, Mark Hunter, that's an American, you know what I mean? So I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, dude, to think about that.
To be clear, this doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't happen anymore. Like, I haven't been singled out in a long time, but around, within the few years after 9/11, it was constant. I mean, I never upset me. I understood why they were doing it, but it was like, yeah, well, this isn't random, and it makes for a great story now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a straightforward looking white guy, so I just go, I am not the dude you're looking for. I just
don't you see these devil horns right here? I'm obviously into some deep shit.
Well, I don't know what was going on with me then. I don't know why. I must have just looked super.
Because you're coming in from the UK. That's why, yeah. And then you had to fly all over too. So they're like, oh, she's picking up drugs everywhere she goes.
Gemma, we're at the Homeland Security is on the lookout for witches. That's what it is.
That'll be what I know. I shouldn't have worn that Iron Maiden t-shirt
and your pentacle necklace
and my pentacle tattoo. Yeah, that probably didn't help.
And my demon servant that carries my bags everywhere, that might have set them off. I don't know.
And then the second thing that
I'm sorry, that was Kyle. Oh.
What?
Boom. The demon servant that carries Gemma's bags now. Shout out to Kyle.
That's funny. Azor Hype, servant of Lucifer. But yeah.
No, servant of Gemma.
Servant of Gemma.
Yeah, servant of me.
But yeah, so
he won't deny that one.
Thing that I wanted to say was at the very beginning of this, Quinn and David, you guys were like, "Oh, Sir Hunts, you were the life of the party." Now I couldn't tell because I feel like I know you guys, but I don't know well enough if that was sarcastic or not. But one of my biggest things that I was self-conscious about when I was there was like, man, I want to have a good time and I want to get drunk and I want to talk to people, but I don't want to seem like a fucking douchebag because, that's what happens when I drink, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped drinking because I'm like, I turn into a different person. So I wanted to double check with y'all. And y'all can feel free to say that. Like,
funny story. There was one point where you were like, I'm going to go get some more alcohol. And you're like, I'm going to take all these guys in a taxi. And then you showed up again. You told this to me and my friends. And then you showed up again like an hour later. And I don't know if you heard her, but my friend was like, did you get the alcohol? And you were like, no. And then she screamed, where the fuck have you been? Like, you disappeared. And then came back another way.
well, see, here's the thing with that. Because I constantly have the self-conscious thing, if someone comes up to me and goes, hey, do you want to go do this? My ADD is like, let's go do this with that person because I don't want to upset them by not doing that with them. And you guys know that it was very open and like everyone was cool with everybody, but it was somewhat cliquey. You know what I mean? For some part, at least I felt like that. And that just could have just been my overreading shit, or overlooking into things. And so I felt like anyone that came up to me and was like, hey, do you want to go do this or do you want to go do that? I would be like, hell yeah, you came out of your way to come by and say hi to me. So I'm going to, and honestly, I don't know. I felt like that made some people get a weird impression of me. So thank you for sharing that with me. I think probably what happened, dude, was like, I mean, to be honest, I can't remember. Because I feel like I would have remembered your friend saying that. That would have been hilarious. Like, I know I laughed, but I don't even, but yeah.
You were really drunk, dude. It was really funny, actually.
Yeah. Like, and the problem was not only is there heat, but then I wasn't eating. I had like one thing on the fucking plane. You know those pretzels that they give you? This was either this was Thursday or Friday, but yeah, I wasn't eating properly, so yeah.
I think you're right. I mean, in some cases, certainly there's a lot of people who already know each other, and we say that it's a thing where a lot of introverted people like myself kind of become extroverted temporarily because we're around our people, but you still a lot of people still kind of gravitate to what they know, and we only have so much energy for meeting new people.
AKA the smoking patio.
Right, that is where a lot of that.
But that's where it was, because that's where we ran into Gendry and Carrie and all. And oh man,
it's fun to like break out of your shell a little bit and talk to more people. But also, like, if you have friends you already know, of course you're going to kind of gravitate to them a little bit, if not a lot. And I think that's where some of the cliquishness comes from. People who already knew each other, before the con, versus people who are meeting each other for the first time. But I love just like jumping around. There's so many people to talk to, and I kind of just. Every hour or two, I would kind of move on and found myself in a different group, and then I try to go back and circle back. It's just constantly like floating around. I guess it's kind of like being a social butterfly, but I don't really see it that way. But I can see why someone would see it that way.
Yeah, there was this guy in the closing ceremony that came up to speak. I don't know if you were all in the closing ceremony, and he said that speaking like that publicly was really not a thing for him, which was exactly why he chose to do it. And he was kind of saying the same, that these are his people and these are his guys, and that being a big massive nerd, you know, it's not always the easiest, and you come to these places and everybody just it's a given, it's an unwritten, we don't have to explain ourselves, we know that we're just gonna all sat there in our nerdy t-shirts talking about nerdy things. So yeah, it was a great place to get distracted, Mark. So I understand why you vanished, because I couldn't walk from one end to the other without stopping at least 20 times.
People are going to recognize us and say thank you and hey, I know you from your show, things like that, because this is like one of the places we all get recognized. You know, like I'm out in the world. I have been recognized a few times out in the world, but it's pretty rare, you know, like, but at the con, it's, you know, of course people know most of us, if not all of us. And so and you don't want to just be like, oh, hey, thanks, and walk away. You know, you want to say, you want to engage with this person who took the time to come up and say hello to you. And you want to ask their name and where they're from and stuff like that. And that can happen a few times, you know, while you're just walking to the bathroom or something or going to get a coffee, standing in line. So it's not like you ditched somebody. It's just that there's so much happening, and you don't want to be rude to people who just come right up to you and talk to you, because sometimes it makes them nervous. You know, some people are shy. You know, we're not like big celebrities, you know, because we're kind of like mom and pop store celebrities in that sense. You know? We have a local restaurant that people know, you know, but it's instead of local, it's known to small amounts of people in any given city, like a couple of people in each city. So that's we take that for granted. That people really do. They're like, some of them are kind of shy to approach us, and it kind of blows my mind to hear that. But it's like, oh, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, so I just want to try to be really open and be like, you have nothing to be afraid of. Just come up and I'm going to be friendly. And I know you guys are all the same way, because you all appreciate love.
Even though I'm really shy.
In that smoking area that you keep coming back to, the smoking area, and we'd all be, you know, you stood in a circle and people are talking, and then I would start talking, and that's when people would turn and go, oh my God, you're Secrets of the Citadel, because they didn't recognize my face, but as soon as I opened my mouth, they knew exactly who I was. And like Aziz said, you could see it in their faces. They were quite overwhelmed to be meeting me, which was bizarre, but I've never felt so appreciated.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. One of the things that I was afraid of going this year was like, because when I went the first year, I was like, man, I have like 6,000 subs. I don't even remember if I had reached 1 million views yet, but I was like, there is no way anyone is going to recognize me at all. And then it happened. One person came up to me and was like, can you sign this book? And can you take a picture? And that's Nancy. And I was like, oh my God, fuck yes. Do you want to do this multiple times? This makes me feel amazing. And then like this year, I know how many views I was getting during the season. And I was like, if it's not more this year and it's less, I'm going to feel like a douche. Because then I feel like all those views meant nothing. If the fact that when you go to a fandom event that specifies in this, where there's going to be everyone there, and like I felt like that, so I was like, let me upload more face videos so that I'm more recognizable. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to add that little thing in because we were talking about like
Quinn. You've been trying to say something for a minute. What was it?
Oh, I was just gonna say that like Gemma, I had a lot of people that I just
your voices. Like, you guys are both
they recognized my voice. They'd be like, oh, are you Ideas of Ice and Fire? Like I had one guy that was like he was cosplaying as a Maester, and I asked him for a picture, and he goes, are you Ideas of Ice and Fire? And I go, yeah. He's like, sure, you can have a picture. And that was really cool.
That Maester guy is a perfect example of what I was talking about. We took a picture of him too, and we asked to take his picture, and he was too shy to tell us that he was a fan of our show. Like he managed to tell Shea later, and they were smoking a cigarette together. But at that moment, he didn't even say it right then. He needed to like work up a little courage, and that just blew my mind. It's like, you're the dude in this amazing Maester costume. Was awesome, man. He had the great detail with the chain itself, and of course he had the look. Bald guy with a beard and then the gray robe, and yeah, it was perfect.
One of my favorite, aside from the wall, one of my favorite cosplays was the skinny Varus. That was just funny. I was like, dude, that was hell yeah. He looked like him too, like a little bit. But hey, can you guys? I'm gonna appoint David because I feel like when me and him do future live streams, I could go for like 30 minutes and David will keep the conversation. Can you guys just continue? I'm about to go smoke a cigarette. It's been like I need a cigarette, but yeah, I'll be yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Should I get my bass? Where's
Dance, David, dance. But
why don't we throw out a little what's everybody working on next? Gemma, what are you doing next?
I need to get right back. I was actually in the middle of working before I decided to crash this stream. I'm working on a couple of character profiles, but I need to really get back into my book stuff. So it'll be back to my Unraveling the Text series. I'm on chapter 3 of A Clash of Kings. So there you go. That's what I'm doing.
well, for me, the main thing right now is Ultimate Guide to Dune Part 4. It's the longest video I've ever put on my channel. It's gonna be about 2 hours long. And yeah, I'm just trying to get it out there. So that's what I'm doing.
We have, I really was trying to get our Manderley Part 2 out before the con, but that didn't happen. So that we're really close on that. It's already over 30-page script. We usually finish between 30 to 40 pages, and I have a few more things to add on the modern Manderley situation. And I've been thinking a lot about post Battle of Ice, because we already covered the Battle of Ice a while back, so we're not going to retread on that. But I wanted to think about what's going to still be around, and I think it's really interesting to think about the fate of White Harbor when the Walkers inevitably get that far. Because I don't think the Walkers are going to be stopped, in the north. I think they're going to get through the north and at least to the Trident, if not farther. So that's bad news for White Harbor. They might get turned into a whole city of whites or something like that. We might hear about a siege off screen. Davos might be there, something like that. So I'm exploring a lot of those possibilities, which I think are really fun. Something that I think in some way or another we're going to end up seeing. And then we're going to do Bloodraven Part 2. Then we're going to do a Nymeria episode and probably a live stream in between there somewhere. So that's what's up for us.
That's cool. I love anything about White Harbor and the Wolf's Den and the Manderleys and their fishery court.
Thanks for that. I'm giving you a shout out in that episode too, because you caught that clubbed walrus line.
Oh yeah, clubbed walrus. No, yes, anything with the Manderleys, I love. Frey pies, give me more.
Yes.
So who hasn't gone here? Oh, Secrets. Go ahead.
In the chat.
Yeah, let's say what's up to Val. Val was one of the favorite people I got to meet. I've been sort of catching her on streams here and there, so that was definitely very cool to meet Val.
Yeah, got to meet her last year, and we got to hang out with her and her boyfriend Graham, who's really cool, at the party. And then there was a little hangout at a house that they rented, an Airbnb, right before we left. That's where we hung out before we went to the airport, and that was fun. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, like I kind of I was standing somewhere and I kind of turn around and she's like right there and I go, "Oh, hey, it's you." That was cool. She's really nice.
So next up on my channel, I'm talking about something it's not really that important. Just gonna be something about the moon that we have cracking open and causing a new long night, something like that. I don't know.
So we have to take a shot now. You've said moon.
Gotta take a shot.
Well, technically, it's moon meteor. So now you have to take a shot. But in all seriousness, it's a very simple logical thing. If my general idea that it was some sort of meteor impact caused the original long nights, and if we're going to get a new long night, which everyone expects, stands to reason that George would probably use another meteor to cause it. Because why would you think of an entirely new way to cause a long night when you already thought of this really clever thing with moon meteors and symbolism and all this stuff? So I actually am predicting, one of my biggest and only predictions is that the new long night that we know is coming will be triggered by a new meteor attack. And I've got a bunch of foreshadowing that I'm going to show for that.
Awesome.
I can't wait for that one.
Shout out to Because Geek. I saw she's in the chat. If you got some time, you want to come hop on with us, you can.
So guys, I got to get going pretty soon here, but I'll stay on for a little bit longer.
Okay, I was about to say, I was just going to have, if she does want to come on, we'll just have her say some stuff, and then, we'll, because it's been like 2 hours. I feel like I sprung this on you guys last minute. I thought it's
pretty fun, though.
Especially from the the beer thing, and I feel even worse because I felt like I would remember your friend saying that. That's hilarious. She was like, "Where the fuck were you out?" I've been like, "What?" That'd be really.
I don't even think you heard her. Like you were, because Phil was on the ground like playing the bongos, and I think we just all kind of like.
Oh man, good times. I remember me and Phil had a drum off. Like he was playing the bigger half and I was playing the little half. Yeah.
She was pretty drunk too, so she would have never said it if she was.
That's funny. That's so funny. But yeah, oh yeah, King McKay was there too, dude. That surprised the shit out of me. I was like, because
longest travel. Wow.
Yes, right. So like, well, they were in California, but overall, he had definitely, yeah. And but no, it was nuts, dude. Because like, I'm just standing there, right, and he walks up behind me and he goes, "Hey, it's King McKay." I was like, "What the fuck?" I turned around, bro. I was like, "Oh my god, that was crazy, dude!" Like he had done a face cam video, like he does mostly his voice, like you, Quinn, and Gemma, but he had done a face cam video a while ago. I don't know if it's still up on his channel, so I recognized him. It was nuts. I was like, "Yo, that's crazy."
I feel that I may have to message King McKay and apologize for showing him Orotsu Kodoji Legend of the Overfiend, only to discover that he's 21 years old, and I may have warped his fragile mind.
What is that? What is that?
You Legend of the Overfiend. It's like, how demonetized is this stream already? It's like the original tentacle porn.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a couple of things I got to get to.
On that note.
I gotta go do some research.
So Val says she can't join right now, but I think she's more than happy to jump in sometime in the future.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that was something that Joanna Robinson expressed on Twitter, which is this video is further proof of. There's lots of proof of it all over the internet, and Con of Thrones proved it as well, that this community is really not terribly competitive with itself. There's some exceptions. There's occasionally some drama here and there, but mostly when we get together, we're all just hanging out and just talking shop and having fun. It's kind of like, finally, people I know that are, that kind of do what I do for a living, and they understand like almost nobody else does.
And just to further show, like solidifying what you're saying, man, like how tight knit this is like, even if there's drama, sometimes that brings people closer. Like my experience, I've been doing this less than half the time you have, way less than like a little over 2 years now. Yeah. And sometimes having drama with someone and then you actually get to talk to that person, like, and then meet them and chill with them, and then you actually get close with them. So sometimes the drama actually brings people closer, just showing the further strength. You know what I mean? Like for instance, I don't want to call out names here, but I first heard about Lucifer when a bunch of people that I follow on Twitter were retweeting him getting at someone, and I was like, "Oh shit, let me go look at this dude." And yeah, so I don't know. It further shows that.
Well, I am known to occasionally get my back up.
Well, you stand your ground, and I respect that, dude. You stand your ground.
If it comes to something like civil rights or things that are close to my heart, I will absolutely roast people with dragon flame when called.
When the devil becomes the devil's advocate.
It looks like the horns just grew a little bit longer too, dude. It looks like the horns just grew a little bit longer. That's weird. Maybe that's just because.
So at the con, nobody said to me in person, "Oh my God, you're black."
We do have to call that a win. It happens so much. It's really weird.
Someone did tweet me. I posted a picture and they tweeted.
Just because they didn't say it doesn't mean people didn't think it.
They were definitely thinking it. I could see them.
That shit,
I could see them thinking it.
Well, yeah, I think it's fine. It's weird how many people say it, I guess, and they're like act like it's this huge shocking thing. Like, okay, man, yes.
Yes, surprisingly black people.
Do you want to talk about the others or something now?
Yeah. My favorite is when Quinn said that at a panel. Remember, dude, you said, I can't remember which one that was on. I don't know if it was the Daenerys.
It was the YouTube meet and greet because Tony Teflon brought up everyone thinks gray area is black. And I said, everyone thinks I'm white.
Oh my God. And Tony goes, I'm not going to say shit. I thought she was too.
It don't matter if you're black or white.
He was like, that's why I hollered at her in the first place. Yeah, Tony's a trip, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. All right. Well, it seems like I don't know. We've all been rocking for like 2 hours. Let's end this here. We'll start off with
Sir Hunts, let me say I didn't I mentioned my next podcast is going to be a moon meteor disaster, but
oh no doubt I'm gonna let everybody get a chance to do what you got coming in the future and where everyone can.
Oh, we did that while you were gone.
Yeah, we
We'll
did.
do it again. God damn it! I will do it again. All right, but yeah. So thank everybody who took part of this. This was fucking awesome. Hopefully, like David had said earlier, and what Aziz was saying is like, if anything, these things, like when we're showing you guys this stuff, I feel like sometimes I had such a good time. Like when I uploaded that interview with Sybil, I felt like I was being, haha, look at me. Because I was like, look at how fun this is and look at how I got to do this. But really, it's more like I'm enticing you guys to want to come. So all these people that are watching that weren't here, make sure you start saving now. It's fucking possible. You know what I mean? Because you got like at least 10 months because they announced they'll announce location coming soon. There's like you can sign up for emails and they'll let you know locations and stuff like that and who they have on. And you can sign up for that. But we'll start off with Aziz, since you were the last one to join in with us. Let's get what you got coming up and where everyone can find you.
No, we already did that. I told you, everyone.
I know, we'll do it again. Let's do it again.
I was
Yeah,
about to ask you, Sir Hunts, what do you have coming up next?
Oh, well, I mean, y'all know my schedule. Everyone who's like, I mean, there's probably, I see a lot of new faces in the chat. So I will announce it, but usually I go last. You're throwing me off, David. So this is gonna let me know, like, one of the biggest things that one of the biggest things that people comment when I do collabs with other people is they're like, thank you for choosing someone who doesn't white knight what you're saying and that has conflict to what your predictions or what your theories are. So I feel like whenever me and you do get to collab, it's going to be fucking amazing. But
well,
we have to go through it. We have to go through it. We'll start with the Z's and then we'll go with David next. We're going to do it again. Fuck it. We're going to do it again.
I'll do the briefer version. Okay, so the half that's kind of new. How to find me? We're historyofwesteros.com, History of Westeros on iTunes, and Westeros History on YouTube. Pretty much all those search terms will work. Next up for us is Manderley Part 2, focusing on recent Manderley history and focusing on what might happen with the Walkers coming to White Harbor at some point. And then we'll do Bloodraven Part 2 and Nymeria of the Rhoynar episode. So that's a lot of fun stuff we got coming. I hope to see you all there. Thanks for having me on, Sir Hunt.
No doubt, man. Thank you for coming on. And I think we should do a touch-up. Or wait, well, never mind. I feel like we can't do that because you guys don't do the spoilers. So, but we got to do something. I'm going to start focusing more on a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people at one of the panels I was at, they were like, dude, I watch your channel if you would do more book stuff. So I need to start doing more of that.
Okay. Yeah. Good idea.
And there's a lot to be said for just comparing the two also as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is a fun exercise for sure.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead, Quinn. Let's just go in order across the screen.
Oh, well, yeah, like I said, I just uploaded a new podcast today on the magical objects of the Song of Ice and Fire. I talk about like the Horn of Joramun, Melisandre's Ruby, get some speculation on that stuff. And then also I've got, if you like King Killer Chronicles, I've got a video on the Chandrian coming up. And then the #1 thing on my list right now is Ultimate Guide to Dune Part 4. And if you haven't seen any of those, watch them. Just watch them, please. They're really good. Yeah.
They are.
Cool. Yeah, Dune is awesome. You're the man on Dune.
Go ahead, Gemma.
Yeah, I'm Gemma from Secrets of the Citadel. The first time I said that in one of the panels, I got a cheer, which was awesome. I'm on Instagram, Secrets of the Citadel, Twitter at Citadel Secrets, and I'm Gemma Stark on Facebook. So, come and find me on any of those. I've already said what I'm doing with videos, chapter stuff. So, next.
That's you, Sir Hunts, I guess.
That's you, David.
All right. Oh, that's right. Sorry, my screen puts me last. So, Mythical Astronomy of Ice and Fire is the podcast if you're looking on iTunes. Otherwise, all you have to do is type Lucifer means Lightbringer into the internet machines, and you'll find my website and my YouTube channel. And like I've been saying, I have now uploaded one panel from Con of Thrones on the Lucifer means Lightbringer YouTube channel, so you can go over there and check that out, and I'll be uploading more in the next few days. And yesterday I had the amazing privilege to record an absolutely monstrous podcast with Jeff and Emmett from Notacast, which I have been looking forward to for a long time. I'm sure everyone knows Notacast. And Brendan Beefish, poor Quentin, Emmett, we talked about the Bran chapter where he wakes up from his coma dream, which is also the one where he sees all the visions in his coma dream. And as you can imagine, I had a lot to say about that. So we recorded literally, Aziz, a 3-hour podcast, and it was I pity Jeff editing that one down, but that's coming next week. So
it's funny when they have their guests, it just goes crazy because the longest episode they ever did was the one I guested on, but it sounds like you blew well past what we did. So
it's a 9-page chapter, but you know, it jumps off into so many things.
I'm just looking in the chat, and I've got two of my regulars basically saying it was nice seeing, because J.R. Rowley actually came to our room with us and we did a live stream, and he was in the background just wandering around getting drink. So now all the other people going, "Oh, I saw you in the live stream." It's so great putting faces to all these names.
That was definitely the best part, is just connecting names to faces and all that stuff. You know, in fact, I had so much fun coming up with ideas for panels and then participating on the panels that about halfway through the weekend, it occurred to me that it's going to be a no-brainer for me to start a new panel style live stream. In addition to my scripted episodes and my Q&A live streams, I'm going to start doing like once a month, just like a panel-based live stream that's outside of like all my mythical astronomy jargon, so that anybody can come. I'll pick a topic, have a couple of you guys on, and then just keep the sort of panel-style discussion thing going, because it's such a good format. It led to so many great moments, you know, just like a little bit of notes, and then the rest of it being all impromptu. And it just, I don't know, it really worked. And I need to have a lot of people back on my channel, and I can't always do it like inside of my mythical astronomy jargon. So look for those live stream panels coming up soon with everybody here that you are seeing on the screen as guests. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm well.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, I want to thank.
Is coming for us all. Sorry.
You say darkness is coming, boy. I say it's already here. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, check this out. I was on a John of the Dead panel with Steve. Lucifer, you were on that one. He got to the goddamn Jon Snow impressions first. I was like, nah, I can't do it because his is obviously better than mine. His got his on the fucking TV show. So I was like, yeah. I can do one here. I
had a fun moment with Con Snow. And just in case you guys don't know, this guy looks like Kit Harington. I mean, it is uncanny. So I just went up to the guy, I hadn't met him. He's at the bar. I just walked straight up to him. And I was like, so at what point did you realize? And he just starts laughing. And he tells the quick story was that his friends got into the first season. He wasn't watching it. And they just started texting him about Jon Snow, King of the North, winter's coming. And he's like, what the fuck are they talking about? They totally set him up. They brought him over like a group setting, and they showed him the thing. And they're all sitting there tittering, waiting for Jon to come on screen. He's like, I don't get it. This is horrible. This kid, everything is horrible in this. Why are you laughing? And then Jon Snow comes on screen. Everybody apparently started dying. And this guy's now learned to embrace it. And he's now Con Snow.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, got a funny story with him. Oh man, I wish he was here so I felt comfortable sharing it. But those who were with me that were in the chat when it happened, that shit was hilarious. I was like, "Is this a skit? Is this being filmed?" Oh my god, it was awesome. But yeah, no, thank you all for coming on. That's fucking amazing. I think I've never done a collab with Quinn or with you, David. So I'm looking forward to doing that, like an official collab. Like, let's do it.
We'll do it. We'll do it for sure.
I'm in.
Good.
All right. Well, one more time, if there's someone in the chat right now that can link everyone's things, it'd make it a lot easier for me when I go through, because I already have the channels. I need to link your channel as East, but also I wanted to link you guys' Twitter. So like I said, if you guys have any clips or any pictures that you took with us, share them so that we can retweet them, so that anyone that follows us on Twitter that watches the videos can have even more of the experience. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to do the best I can at uploading the footage. We're all going to do the best we can of uploading footage. David already has a full panel up. That's fucking awesome that they let us upload the full panels this year. That's what's up. So I have, I think I recorded 2 or 3 of my panels all the way out. So I'll try to get those up as quick as possible. I finally got to watch Westworld episode 6 last night. So I'm going to do like a partial breakdown of that, but also like more of like predictions for episode 7. But yeah, I don't know if any of you guys do Westworld stuff. It's a fucking awesome show. But yeah,
Fun show. Too much work to
You gotta
cover
talk
also.
Sir Hunts, you got to talk to Robert from In Deep Geek. He's really big on Westworld, man.
Hell yeah, we've been trying to. He's been asking me to come on his pregame.
Oh, you should do it. He's
Sunday
so
show.
nice. He's so much fun to hang with,
Yeah,
dude. You should do it.
Me and Robert have collabed a lot. It's
Okay.
just the timing. Usually on Sunday, if I have a video planned for Monday or Wednesday, Sunday's the day that I'll try to record that. But sometimes it doesn't get until like mid-afternoon when spoilers and news from Reddit and Watchers on the Wall comes for season 8. So if I'm recording something for a video, right around the time he starts his podcast is usually when I start recording.
Cool.
We're definitely gonna do something with that. I can't fucking wait, dude. We got last night. Sunday's episode was amazing. It was so cool because like you guys were saying,
No
earlier,
spoilers. I'm hearing calls for no spoilers in the chat. So
of course not.
Right.
But no, like you guys were saying, I was still buzzing from getting back because technically I've only been home for 48 hours and I left on Wednesday, even though I didn't get to Dallas on Thursday. I left like early Wednesday to get to where I was flying out of. So it was like, it was nice to be back home and I was still crazy amped up from all that traveling. Like actually last time going to Nashville last year was my second time ever being on a plane. So that shows you how little, like any time I travel anywhere, it's usually driving, but yeah, so it took a lot out of me to do that, and then still being buzzing from that, and then to come and do this with you guys has been fucking amazing. So thank you all for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me randomly crash your stream. I
love that. I love that.
I'm always up for a good crash, a good stream crash. You've crashed mine before, so payback.
Yeah, thanks for putting this together, Sir Hunts.
No doubt. Sorry for springing it on you guys last minute too, like that.
It worked out.
It worked out.
All right.
Well, yeah, thank you all. Yeah, don't forget to check the description. And if you're going back and watching this, I want to thank you all so much for watching. My name's Mark, and let me find the stop broadcast button. This has been Sir Hunts.
It's always the trickiest part.
Yeah, sorry for the